Hi, Kathleen. How are you? You were the first one here tonight, right? Hi, Dank Menace, Debbie Two Scooter. Surprised you didn't come in the Zoom, Debbie Two Scooter, right before it started. Uh, there was, in case you guys missed it, there was, because I had to go back and try to find where people were saying that Kenzie said Jacob in the ambulance. She did not say Jacob in the ambulance. She said Dom and Davion. And they even said Dave, and she said, no, Davion. And they said, where does Davion live? And she said, with me and Dom. And then there's another part which I saw and then I didn't get to put in this video because I think it was in one other piece of the body cam. But one of the officers says, even before that, um, that she says Dom was there. You can see it. Then the guy comes out of the ambulance and he literally goes and says, the other guy is somebody named Jacob. It's the most bizarre thing you've ever heard. So check it out if you didn't. And it just like we're trying to clear stuff up, just like they were not rooftop stairs. And I did find voice messages about those stair incidents in her Snapchats. There's quite a few of them. So yeah, they were indoor stairs. Anyway, I think we are over here on this part right now. Let me get to where's the video? Here we go. Hi, Slam RN. Oh, echo. Oh, shoot. How could there be an echo? Hold on a minute. There's no echo. Hold on a minute. Or maybe everything, all the volume is off, all the ones that are playing. Oh, why did Scooter say that? Scooter, are you being silly? There's no echo? Okay. All right, no echo, good. So let me, I have to make myself, I have to make myself the other way. What am I doing? Postage stamp size. I have to go down to the postage stamp. And that should open that up. I don't know. They said it wasn't, though, Scooter. Nothing was on. I didn't touch anything. Nothing. I didn't have to lower anything. Scooter has a hole in her ear. Slam. Okay. Hi, Stacy. How are you? Bucky Ann. Hi. All right. We ready to start? I want to make sure that. Oh, I like to go like this. That's why. Okay. Let me just make sure that that's going to show. Oh, it echoed for a second, Sam. Hi, Alyssa. All right, so here's where we're starting. If you're brand new, Dom is in the blue text message. I will try to say the name and the text. Sometimes I miss a few of them. I try to do them now, okay? We're on page, I might have went back a couple of pages, but 26,593. And it is March 1st, 2022. Dom is blue, Mackenzie's green. Let's get going. Oh, you are very welcome, Stacy. Thank you so much. Okay, ready, guys? Dominic says, I was about to shower, but if you want to play, One real quick, I'm down. It needs updates. I'll play when I'm out of the shower. Kenzie says, I'm on. What the F? He says, what? My shite needed update. I put in some laundry and then I got in the shower. I'm out now. I'll be ready to play in a second. She says, you took like 8 hours and didn't tell me. He says, I said I was going to take a shower an hour ago. That was only an hour ago. I had to flip some clothes first, so I have underwear and stuff. She says, get on. He says, about to. She says, WTF. Why are you just not answering now? Like, what is going on right now? Question marks. Then she says, is that good or not? Because I don't know what I just said. F it at this point, and I won't sell to her anymore if it's bad. Bro, WTF, she says, question marks. She's saying all this. I would text back like right now, OMG, I swear. Okay, I'll just pull up then. Since you want to be effing weird, why can you not communicate? Why can you not communicate? Why can you not communicate? Question marks. Why can you not communicate? Why can you oh my gosh, this is like a tongue twister. I'm going to try my arse. Nah, I'm mad AF. What the F? It's fine, he says. I got peanut butter all over my jacket. So I was washing it. She says, nah, you just lied. She says, you getting D from him or something? I want to just make sure that I didn't skip anything because just let me see something. I just want to see where we were last night. Just hold on for 1 second because my thing was a little bit messed up and I just want to make sure I'm not jipping you guys out of any text messages. I just want to just real quick check the date that we were on last night. Hang on, I'm just going to look at the last thing here. I want to give you your money's worth. Okay, let me see. That is 220. Oh, see? 228. Let's wait a second. I thought we missed something. Yeah, hold on a minute. We have to go back. I want to give you, I don't want to miss the thing. We were on 228. I jumped too far ahead. Okay, 228. Here we are. This is about when they hung up, okay? Let me just see where we were when they said that. Let me see the last one. Decide before tomorrow. Okay, I got us now. We're right there. See? I want this to be fluid and so I'm sorry about that. Okay. Is this tonight? All right, ready guys? So decide before tomorrow. And then yeah, I don't want to miss the thing, right? Then he questioned, think about this relationship tonight. He questioned, decide before tomorrow. Then he said, I'm guessing I'm not grabbing the steaks then. I'm about to eat, so let me know. She says, this is not a threat. This is your last chance to make this relationship work. I told you I would try if you try. And as soon as you stop trying, I'm going to stop trying. And so far, you have gave nothing. Last chance because I will end this all. And I don't care if you will end it all to like I don't give an F. Your reply to this counts like I'm so serious. I'm over this. He says, I feel the same way as you, Kenzie. You still want to make steaks? She says, oh, MG, do you think everything is just going to be okay if you just shove it under the effing rug? Like, why is that your solution to everything? Let's just talk about it later. You still want to make steaks? Stop trying to push it to the effing side. He says, I just need to know if I should get them. Giant Eagle probably closing. She says, how am I going to know you can keep your word when you already broke your apology that you apologized yesterday? You are already hanging up on me on the phone, which is part of the original problem. He says, Kenzie, you broke your word. You were disrespectful. Kenzie says, I was just trying to talk to you because I was scared about getting in an accident. But of course, you're being yourself. You have to belittle my problem after you hung up on me. He says, well, I'm sorry. And I already said I was sorry. She says, remember, your apologies mean nothing because you do this. Your apologies, you apologize and do the same thing a day later, so your apologies mean nothing, and they won't mean anything unless proven otherwise. He says you were rude the next day, too, and I'm not making a big deal out of it. I only hung up on you. You were rude. She says, I wasn't, and if I was, you would have said something. He says, and now you're making it about me. She says, what did I say that was so rude then? This is already about you, LMAO. You hung up on me. He says, I don't know what you said. You started raising your voice, yelling, so I hung up. I forgot, for real. Last chance, she says. I, for real, am going to freak the F out. Oh, so you don't know what I said. So you hung up the phone. Okay. Weird. He says, I forgot. He says, I hung up. She says, you wonder why I never effing trust you. You can't even keep your word about a simple apology. Honestly, this is not working. He said, you can't either. You're making it about me when it's clearly you. She says, how am I even going to believe you're going to even try to change when you can't keep an apology? He says, because if you didn't break your promise and be rude, I wouldn't have hung up. She says, what's clearly me? He says, all of this. Kenzie says, how many give you a chance to explain before you're blocked? He says, and you're trying to make it about me. She says, because you are so close. He says, I really don't care. She said, this is about you. He said, if you block me. She says, it's going to be more than just blocked at this point. I'm giving you one last chance. He says, okay, Kenzie. Well, look, you were rude and I hung up, so it evens out. She says, OMG, are you effing slow? Question mark. Like, shite, I seriously can't do this shite. What is wrong with you? Seriously, what is wrong? Question marks, question marks. He says, and now you're being rude. She says, I would love to know what is going on so I can understand. Yup, now the FIM. Keyword now, slow. He says, you have been like this the whole time. She says, do you want this relationship to work or not? Because if you're not going to try, I'm done. Last effing chance. And this is a yes or no question. Yes or no, yes or no. He says, yes, I'm a try. She says, then effing try. He says, but I'm not going to talk to you if you're rude. She says, and stop lying to yourself. He says, I obviously am. We've been fighting this whole time and I'm still trying to come cook steaks for you. Like, my tolerance level is 0. I'm not tolerating anything, but my try level is 100. She says cooking steaks for me is not the same. Like WTF, maybe instead of putting all that effort into cooking a steak, you can put it into like keeping your word, trying to make me feel loved, not hanging up on me. He says, I'm just trying to make it good and hang out like I wasn't trying to do any of this fighting. She says, honestly, any reply that I don't like after this, I'm done. You're just going to make it good that it's going to be bad a day later because you're going to hang up on me or do some shite. He says, next time, I'll just do something else. I'll try another way of handling it. Hold on, I got to get a drink. Hi, Julie. You're addicted to these? Another. She says, of handling what? He says, the whole situation. The hanging up part. She says, why couldn't you just say that when I asked why you hung up on me? Why wouldn't you have fought? And that would have been the end of the convo. And you probably would have been here now making the stakes. This could have been said right there. He says, I don't think you asked why. She says, why would it mean something now after you just argued with me for over an hour? Like at this point, it just feels like you're trying to stop arguing. I just say anything to make that stop. I'm so done. Whatever, Dom. Get the stakes if you want to do whatever you effing want. You're just going to keep doing the same shite. I'm just going to have to deal with it. He says, so you want me to go get them? They literally close at 9. She says, well, I don't even care at this point. I told you when I get out of diversion. I haven't ate all day. I'm so fed up. Figure it out. I don't even care. Like F this, she says. He said, this isn't my fault now. Let me see if we can curbside or some. She says, it was your fault from the beginning for hanging up on me. Wait. No, it's open till 10. And babe, we were both wrong, but don't raise your voice on me on the phone. If you don't want me to hang up like next time, I won't, but you can't get mad if I have a reason. And she says, and what did I raise my voice about? What did I yell about? I would love to know. Since that's the only thing that you've been bringing up this whole conversation, I would love to know. He says, you know what, Kenzie? I was totally wrong. I'm sorry. I must have just thought you were yelling and being rude. Now I'm about to go get those steaks. Are you there? She says. Then she's sending TikTok. Both, to be honest, he says. She said, because I think she asked him if she likes something, right? What does he like or something? Are you on Fortnite? He says. She says, yes, about to be. I made tea. He says, I was about to shower, but if you want to play one real quick, I'm down. It needs updates. I'll play when I'm out of the shower. She says, I'm on WTF. He says, what? My shite needed updated. I put in some laundry, then I got in the shower. I'm out now. I'll be ready to play in a sec. She says, you took like 8 hours and didn't tell me. He said, I said I was going to take a shower an hour ago. That was only an hour ago. I had to flip some clothes first, so I have underwear and stuff. She says, get on. He says, about to. She says, WTF. She says, why are you not answering now? What is going on right now? Question marks. Then she says, is this good? Is that good or not? Because I don't know what I just said. F it at this point, and I won't sell to her anymore if it's bad. Bro, WTF, she says, question marks, question marks. I would text back like right now, OMG, I swear. Okay, I'll just pull up then. Since you want to be effing weird, why can you not communicate? Why can you not communicate? Why can you not communicate? Question marks. Why can you not communicate? 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 I'm going to try my arse. Nah, I'm mad AF. What the F? He says, it's fine. I got peanut butter all over my jacket, so I was washing it. She says, nah, you just lied. You getting D from him or some? She says, what the F? Is it so hard for you just to tell me what the F you're doing? Like, what does go through your head? Sorry, I wasn't answering. I was getting D down by Bradbury. Is it that hard? I would answer. Oh, shoot. Hold on a minute. I had this on the let me get my charger thing. Hang on a minute. I had this on the battery thing all day. That doesn't make sense. Unless, hold on, let me get my battery backup thing. 1 second. Don't worry about it. I've got it. I've got you all covered. Calm down, everybody. Calm the F down, everybody. I've got battery power AF. Okay, I'm coming right now with the battery backup. Got all the battery power you can imagine. I just don't know why it didn't. I must have took something out to charge my phone. Okay, we're good. We're golden. All right. All right, we got our battery power. Now let's see. Right now, done. He says, they put like a little male symbol in there. I don't know what that is. Okay. She says, every day you prove to me that every word that comes out of your mouth is a lie. He says, I literally got peanut butter on my jacket. He should have had some chocolate. You got peanut butter on your jacket. I've got some chocolate to go with it. That's how, remember those stupid Reese's commercials? The people were walking around in a movie theater aisle. One had an open jar of peanut butter and one had a jar of chocolate. And they bump into each other and the chocolate falls in the peanut butter jar. And they're like, you've got peanut butter in my chocolate. Right? Isn't that crazy? And that's like when Reese's like was that new that they had to tell you that peanut butter and chocolate go together. Like it, you might say, how does peanut butter and chocolate go together? Ooh, who would ever eat that? Think about that commercial, who came up with that, right? I'm going to the movie theater. Does anybody have a jar of peanut butter I can bring for my snack? Just dumb. Okay. Okay, hold on. I'm just shutting my phone there. Okay, so I ran downstairs to wash it. So she says, yeah, I'm sure. He says, compassionate, see? She says, it's a different effing excuse every time. Like I literally don't believe a word that comes out of your mouth. He says, uncompassionate. She says, it's okay. Just go get your D. He says, exactly what I was talking about. She says, she's waiting in your driveway right now. She says, like I said, this is not trying. If you send another emoji, there's going to be a problem. He said, what the F is wrong with you? She says, I think you're old enough to type out how you feel. Sorry, I don't know how to answer the phone. He says, I'm not texting. She says, at least I can apologize before you tell me to, though. He says, you didn't apologize. You were just rude as F and uncompassionate. Exactly what I was talking about. I didn't even know he was here because my phone was upstairs because I was trying to ruin my clothes. I wasn't trying to ruin my clothes. She says, oh, so he was just inside your house? He says, if you got shite on your clothes, you'd be acting the same way. Like WTF. She says, well, You were panicking. He was just sitting inside your house. He says, no, he wasn't. He was outside. Like, where did you get that? I didn't know you were calling me, and I didn't know he was here because I have peanut butter on my shirt. Like, you would have seen me shirtless if you answered FaceTime. She goes, I don't care with question marks. He says, and then I answered the phone to you. She says, I don't get horny in the middle of an argument. He says, and ran out to him real quick. She says, like, really, you're just proving yourself to me. Sad. Why would I believe you can keep your word when you can't even keep your word about the simplest things? Dom says, like I told you, I'ma answer the phone when I can. But if my hands are full, I can't. She says, you can't even communicate normally. Like I got peanut butter on my, on me. Excuse me, this is him talking. Like I got peanut butter on me, took my phone out of the pocket and ran downstairs. If you would have waited 5 minutes, I would have answered. Like if I was doing my dishes, I wouldn't have answered, or vacuuming, I would not have heard it. And she says, you would tell me you were doing your dishes though. You would told me you were vacuuming. Dom says, like, I'm not going to answer sometimes. And then she says, okay, then I'm not going to answer sometimes. He says, yeah, 'cause I was cleaning peanut butter. If you're doing the dishes, I'm not going to care if you don't answer. If you're cleaning your clothes, you don't answer me for hours before. It said you were doing your nails. I didn't get pissed. What if I was wiping my arse? I mean, I'm going to answer with poopy hands? Oh, poopy hands. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. She says, stop trying to gaslight the situation and make it more than what it was originally. Years as you're lying about who's at your house and what you're doing. When you have somebody over at your house, I would tell me because I will find out. And if you're not going to answer your phone, then how about you communicate that you're not going to answer your phone for a long period of time? This is so dumb. This is so dumb. Like he's supposed to say, hey, listen, Kenzie, I just spilled some peanut butter on my shirt. So now I'm not going to be able to answer the phone because I'm going to go wash it out real quick. And that's just in case you call me. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. He says, Kenzie, I spilled peanut butter on me. Then I washed it out. I'm not going to text you and say, Kenzie, I spilled peanut butter on me. I have to hurry. Oh, he's saying what I just said. I have to hurry and wash it out. So I might not answer the phone. Like it'd take me 5 minutes to clean it. If I don't answer for 5 minutes, you can't be mad at me. It's not like you text me and I just don't text back for an hour. She says, it was more than that. And it's extra suspicious when I drive past your house and there's a 50-year-old man there. So from now on, you're going to be telling me who is at your house, which shouldn't even be a question or something. I wish I could trust you, but you literally keep doing things that make me don't trust you. He says he wasn't even at my house. He was in the driveway. She says, how am I supposed to effing know that? Well, if you're effing driving by the house, you better take an effing better look and see if there's a guy in that car there, because you're no detective AF. Okay, all I see is him in your driveway. I expect him to be at your house and you're not answering me. Now look at she just said, she just said the little biatch. All I see is him in your driveway. So I would say, oh, so you saw him in my driveway. That's how he should answer. Oh, so you saw him in my driveway. Why did you just lie and say you didn't see him in my driveway? I expect him to be in your house and you're not answering me for over 30 minutes. You're either cheating on me, getting robbed, getting beat up, getting arrested, or or just doing something normal, but obviously I'm going to think of the other things. Why? Because you have such a sinister mind. Those are all things you've done to me before, and I'm just used to it like that. So it takes a lot of reassuring, which you said you were going to do, but which you haven't, but whatever. Seriously, I'm really fed up. Oh, let me get my little tiny violin out for you, Kenzie. Okay. He says, Kenzie, it was still less than 10 minutes of not answering. Like, that's not bad. You haven't answered for hours because you were doing nails and I didn't say anything or get mad, and you should have just answered FaceTime. And then you would have seen what was going on. He says, like, I'm not going to argue about this now. It's wasting my time. I'm supposed to be places. She says, the difference between me and you is I've never cheated on you. You have no reason to not trust me. Then he said, we were broke up when I did anything, and anyone you cannot believe with anyone, you cannot believe it. I don't care. She says, does that make it okay, even if that's true? I know you didn't just reply that. He said, it's not okay, but I didn't cheat. She says, like, I know you didn't. OMG again? Dead arse. I know you did not just say that. Like, I must be hallucinating. Like, is that what's happening or something? Am I? He says, why? She says, like, am I hallucinating? Like, I know you didn't say that. Like, that would be the most insane thing ever. Like, for real. Am I? He says, bro, whatever. There's no getting anywhere with this. She says, so am I hallucinating? Question mark. He says, sure. She says, okay, good. That's what I thought. I knew you wouldn't be dumb enough to say something like that. Okay, Kenzie, he says. She says, do you know what I'm going to make you? Some art for your living room. You're going to love it. This is so crazy. This is March 1st. That was March 1st. That was literally 6 seconds later. She said she's going to make him some art. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. What's it going to be? She says a portrait. He says, Ite, bet. He says, did you get Starbucks yet? She says, obviously, I don't just leave the house to go check on you. Oh, really? I thought you were going to just ignore me for hours and I needed it before it was too late. So you do have legs and you are able to go get something on your own. Oh, okay. I only got a medium though. You can come drink some. I wanted a croissant, he said, but that still sounds good. Maybe I'll come hit the bong while I'm waiting on this kid. She says, I literally just went to the bathroom, like took an actual shite and survived in Fortnite somehow. He says, that's funny as F. Oh, okay. This kid wants me to come now, so I'll link with you after if you want. She's sending more stuff to him. Can I have money for Luca? Come over. He says, I'm waiting on this kid to come out, then I can come. Luca is expensive, Nook. How much do you expect? She says, I want Wagyu and the aesthetic. Second. Then he says, I'll give you 20. You got to pay the rest. Rest you got to pay. Let's play 8-ball. Question marks. Okay, they're playing. And why did you hang out? He says. He says up. Question mark, he says. She says, I took from the cart money, bro. He says, what? Did they try and jump you or something? She says, bro, someone dead ours has a puppet at the table. What do you mean? Send a video. Oh my gosh, he sent a picture of me and Maria when we were there. Oh my gosh. Yep, that's me and Maria when we were there. He says, LOL, what the F? Then she says, bringing home 2 Wagyu. He says, bet. She says, I want to eat them, but I will save them. He says, you can eat them. She says, I'll take a note. And then she says, bite, LOL. She says, do you want me to come sleep over? He says, of course, you can always sleep over. She says, should I get the chocolate cups, babe? He says, unadd Kyle McCarthy. She says, why? He says, on Snap. He's been weird, and he always tells me to break up with you, so I don't want him in our business. She says, WTF, question marks, WTF. He says, yep, just unadd him, question mark. She says, I'm a need to see that combo. What the F? He says, just unadd him. She says, I did, the F. I'm salt. Well, do I get the chocolate cups? Yeah. I have food for you. Bet, he says. Sacchetti and Wagyu? Yes, she says, and the cups too. Actually, maybe not. I don't know. I have no money. I need clothes for summer. He says, yeah, just don't. Okay, she says. He says, you need to be healthy too. She says, true. He says, so it's 2 wins instead of 1. She says, I need to wash my face and change this outfit, then I'll come over. Okay. So then he says, so you're not coming over? Aight. I'm about to go to bed. Door's getting locked. Good night, question mark. I'm getting on Fortnite. She says, oh, so you have a lot of fixing to do in this relationship? If you want this to work, each day you do something new, and it just shows me a new reason why this is not working out. He says, because I said I deleted that message. She says, if you're going to be friends with Kyle and Bradbury, then there's going to be problems with this relationship, and don't try to bring up Grace because she does not tell me to break up with you. She's the only person who actually talks to me about my relationships. You are literally probably the most untrustworthy person I've ever met in my whole life, and I will let you repeatedly break my trust. I'm sorry, but I would watch your mouth. I'm really about to just block you and go to bed if I don't like what you say. You were going to let me go to sleep mad, and then you're just trying to push it to the side and try to play Fortnite like you didn't just say that shite to me. You have serious effing issues, and I don't think you want a relationship because you don't act like it. He says, you say awful things to me all the time and push them to the side. You don't say anything about that. She says, you're only nice to me when you're horny. He says, I'm nice to you all the time, and I'm selfless towards you. He says, and I don't lie. I've always come clean. I could not have said anything. Hold on a minute. I could not have said anything. You and I weren't going to let you go to bed mad. You weren't answering. Yeah, she says, this is not working unless you have something to prove otherwise, or you're actually going to try, then I'm all done here. I would answer if I were you. She sounds like the 8 ball. I would answer if I were you, right? Okay. Okay. Sorry. What's going on with this? Okay. Sorry, I'm reheating this steak. This really isn't an issue if we just about, if we just go about our lives. So let me make sure this is showing. Like nothing that's said in text message is going to affect our relationship. But again, I'm not stopping you from anything, so just let me know. She says, okay, my four, are you serious? Are you serious? Are you for real? Question mark, question mark. Like, do you want to be single? Is that your goal? Answer right now. 5, 4, 3, 2. What? I'm talking about with other people. Why are you calling me like that? She says, dead arse. I would be talking right now. 5, 4, 3. Call me, he says. What? F no, she says. He says, you must not be getting this right. She says, dead arse, I will explain yourself like dead arse, like you literally are about to be so effing single, like dead arse, like dead arse. Like I actually am genuinely so effing confused. Do you want an effing relationship or not? 5, 4, 3, 2. What? He says, call me. What are you confused about? She says, I would be explaining right now. You are literally so close to being blocked and single. He says, anything that anyone says to me, she says, I don't even give an F anymore. He says, will not influence our relationship. She says, if you want to be in a relationship, things are going to change. I think this is now the 4th or 5th time I've told you to stop belittling my effing problems, but your brain can't grasp that. She tells him to stop belittling her and then makes a comment that his brain cannot grasp something. He says, I'm not saying that. She said, you purposely deleting messages, thinking about that before I ever even would think about that in my life is a major red flag, and you're about to get dumped because of that. And if you're not going to try, then I'm going to block you. Honestly, if any of your replies suck, you're getting blocked. I would think really hard for sending any messages of your messages, and I wouldn't say anything dry either, and you never want to inhale both like you said you were going to do for me today, proving that you can't keep your word once again. He says, okay, Kenzie, all I got to say is none of that had to affect our relationship. That's the last I was trying to, that was the last I was trying to do. I deleted the messages. And yeah, I didn't hit the gym either. I got home and I haven't left my house. My back is effed up. I didn't go to Aldi's either. I was just trying to crack it for so long for real. But yeah, next time I won't delete messages, I guess. She says, do you seriously just say the same thing that you just effing sad? But again, like I literally told you to think before you send your message, and you literally just said the same thing. Like, are you trying to make me freak the F out? I will literally kill someone, dead arse. I would be scared. That's something. Let's read that again. Like I literally told you to think before you sent your message, and you literally just said the same thing. How many times does she say the same thing? Like, are you trying to make me freak the F out? Because I will literally kill someone. Dead arse. I would be scared. Five, 4, 3. What? He says. She says, you are digging the most deep effing great for yourself. I think I've ever seen in my whole life. Grave. Oh my gosh. You are digging the most deep effing grave for yourself I think I've ever seen in my whole life. Wow. He says, I'm really not. She says, like, why am I trying for somebody that literally does not try at all? Oh, and now you're going to reply dry again? And you're right, there isn't going to be a next time because I'm never going to look through your shiny little phone again. And I'm just going to trust my intuition. And next time I think you're cheating on me, I'm just going to break up with you because you probably are. He says, when you break up with me, you'll realize how much I actually do and how selfless I actually am. And I swear I have done anything. Haven't. She says, it doesn't matter how much you effing do. You are literally suspicious. You delete messages. You can't keep your word. You're unapologetic. You're dry. You're unloving. She says, you belittle all my problems. You act different in front of your friends. You talk shite about me to your friends. You tell me I can't do certain things, but you can do the same thing, but a boy version. I would watch your reply. He says, my message with a homie that's private, like I don't ask to see your messages with your friends. She says, because I'm seriously on the brim of pulling up to your house and breaking all your windows. Come on, girl, do it. He says, I don't do a boy version. What do you mean? She says, so I would seriously like to watch what you say. Do you want this relationship to work? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? So you're saying the same thing again. Yes, he says. She says, this is your final chance. One more F up and you're single. I'm going to start keeping track as well. He says, I don't talk shite about you to anyone either. Same to you, Kenzie. He says, next disgusting comment about me, I'ma just block you. She says, oh, so this is now on me. When you were the one who literally admitted to deleting conversations on your phone so I don't see them? I mean, we can just end this right here and be done. You're the one who said, do you want this relationship to work? Then effing act like it. Strike one. Now we're getting strikes. Now we've gone to the counting. Strike one. Better, better. How is that a strike? I'm just letting you know. She says, and I'm just letting you know we can be done right now. So you're going to act like it or we're done. Question mark. He says, okay, Kenzie, I got you. She says, yeah, I'm not believing that. And I'm going to have to like actually see it in person, or who knows, you're just going to delete it. Sad, I can't believe anything that comes out of your mouth because you always have to hide or lie. Whatever. He says, I really don't lie. She says, I'm done wasting my time with the sweat conversation. You're just doing this shite again in a day, making my effing head and brain hurt like you literally suck. Prove me wrong, I guess. Sad because you were going to get a surprise tonight, but always know I didn't want to for a reason. Ew, okay. Strike two, she says. I'm good. I'll show you. Like, are you going to use them all tonight? We'll see then. He says he liked we'll see then. Love you, Kenzie, he says. She says, how does it go from that to this? Love you too. I'm going to leave, she says, already being D's, and we are done, and we are doing box braiding today. F them. He says, I got a crazy pump at the gym. I don't know what that means, she says. My muscles poppin'. I might leave. Dip then, he says. She says, they better have been your phone dying. Like, for real. He said, yeah, it died when I was on the toilet, about to shower right now. She goes, bro, I thought you were showering this whole time. Look what I found on Depop. Babe, he says, it just took me to this. I'm about to get on Fort, though. Fort, she says. Then she says $150. Usually go for 400 to 700. He says Depop doesn't verify fakes though. She says it's real. 150 still good for fake. Fort now. He says I don't know about that one. She says I kind of believe I. Hold on. They're also saying dinosaurs never existed, which I also kind of believe. He says could be. I'm just sending clothes to him. They're sending stuff. Oh boy. Says, yeah, that's facts. She says, I'm not doing okay. What's going on now, Nug? He says, babe. She says, I just woke up. The girl doing my English failed. And now I need someone to do my other English. Dang, WTF, he says. What work did she do so far? She says, yeah, I'm just not going to graduate. She's going to take this final and then she can't help anymore because her grandma's sick. This girl is something else, isn't it? It's the lady's fault because she's not going to graduate. She's cheating. She doesn't even deserve to graduate. She's not even doing the freaking work. Wow. So what work did she do? He asks. She did the whole first semester. She's going to do the whole first semester. No, I need somebody to do my math and English. I'll see if I can find someone, he says. I'm just not going to graduate. I don't even care. Are you sure? He says. Then he says, thanks for helping me clean my house, by the way. Looks so much better. She says, nobody's doing my work and I'm not going to do it. So he says, I'm so mad. My blender just leaked all over the counter and all in my blender and shite. And these dumb arses at the gym haven't got our key fobs to work, so we keep waiting like 20 minutes there every day for somebody else to let us in. And then they are not even staffed. None of them are there to fix our keys. Even when they are, and we mention it to them, they don't do a thing. It should be a stupid little click on the computer. I want to do a different gym, but this is the only one that's close, that's good shite. Pisses me off, though. She says, thank you for totally ignoring what I just said. That means so much to me. He says, I said I'd help you find someone. I'm so mad about this gym right now. Literally the worst gym I've ever been to. Had to edit it because they responded. She says, I don't even care about the schoolwork, like I would rather buy clothes. I have no money for summer clothes, and I also have no one doing my schoolwork, so I'm just effed and broke. He says, you should pass high school or get your GED. She says, taking my GED is the same thing as doing high school in person. Why the F would I do that? I'm not going to go take that test in person. That's exactly why I'm online right now. The only way I'm going to pass high school is if someone does that work for me. And it's not going to be me that does it. He says, GED is one test, then you're done. He says, so you want me to find someone for the work or yes, for the work or no? She says, I'm not going to pass the test. I'm saying I would rather get clothes. I would rather you buy me clothes. Oh, wow, you little. And shoes and purse. Whatever makes you happy, Nug. What do you mean, whatever makes you happy? He says, what you're saying that would make you happy. Not doing the school thing and getting clothes, you said. She said, 2 people are offering to do my math. Who? Are they reliable, he says? I can see if Angelo would be down. He was going to do mine. She says, Austin or Colin? GAF. I feel like I've heard of Colin. Yes, you have, she says. Colin is in my grade and I've known him since freshman year, and he is in the fake ID group chat, I'm pretty sure. Maybe have him do it, Dom says. She says he's friends with Ian Newman in swims. And Dom says, oh, I'm thinking of Colin Peters. He pants me and I fought him. I forgot about that, she said. She says, I really want clothes, okay? He says, sorry, I was distracted with the gym shite. You want to play Fortnite when I get out of the shower? She says, Lexi is going to do my English, I think. Lexi B? Don't give her anything till she's done. She'll probably be on it, though, for real. Yes. She said she loves English. He says, yeah, she'll probably do good on your shite, for real, as long as you don't give her anything first, 'cause then she might be slacking, you feel me? She says, how long are you going to take a shower? He says, I'm about to go to the bathroom, then go, question mark. How long? I don't know, about to shower. Now I don't know if I need to wash my hair or not. I'll see when I get in. Bro, she says, you are literally taking so long. Like, why? Look, I might just go back to bed at this point. He says, probably because I ripped the bong and I should have waited longer. I'm fried as F. Okay, she said. He says we could probably just play now. I don't even got a shower. I'm good. She says, are you sure? He says, actually, I don't even know because I got to find a Band-Aid for that cut. I don't have any left. She says, can you just let me know what's going on so I can go to bed or not? Like, I'm getting annoyed. He says, go to bed. I got to go to the store and get Band-Aids, I guess. She says, I have Band-Aids at my house. I love how you can tell me when you're in a bad mood and you just like ignored it and don't try to make me feel better at all. Like you just kind of like to be a D and like to make things so much worse. Like I'm telling you how, like I have no one doing my schoolwork, and then you just start talking about your gym, like that's the least of my worries. And then you're saying we can play Fortnite, which is actually something that it's like fun for me and like calms me down. And then you say we have to just like be annoying as F about it. Let's figure it out. He says, I asked you if you wanted me to find someone, and yeah, I was pissed as F about the gym, and this tiny cut is deep as F. Somehow I think I did it on my razor blade. I don't know what I should do about it. I don't know if there is shite in there or a scab. And you threw out my other Band-Aid, or I wouldn't, or I would be able to, I don't know what that is. Okay, I'm never going to clean your house again. Thank you, she says. Ungrateful arse F. Strike 3. He says, I don't know if I should try to cut it open or just something it. She goes, yeah, I don't even know. I said, no, Kenzie, I thanked you. She says, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, you honestly never change. He says, I'm just saying I don't have one now. She says, you only change for like 12 hours and then you just do the same shite. No, you're saying if I don't throw out your Band-Aids, you would be able to play, and that's the reason you can't play. No, I'm not. So you're blaming me for cleaning your house, she says. He says, I was saying go to bed, I'll go to the store. Conversation is over, she says. He says, I didn't bring that up. till way later. I don't care that you threw it out. How are you supposed to know? And yeah, I don't want to make the cut bigger. I don't know what to do. I don't know if there is something in there or it's like this tiny scab under there. It's right on my fingertip, but I need to go to the store and get some Band-Aids. I might just cut it open, take whatever's in there out, and then tape it. She says, look what I just found on Depop, and puts a picture. $30. Are we playing Fortnite or not? Because I'm seriously going to effing bed. Those look best. Beats, he said. They are. That's why they're 30. Question marks. He says, you're saying you want those? Let me see if I can put some tape on my hand. She says, I mean, kind of, yes. I mean, everything else I've asked for, I've been told no. Literally, I tell you, the only thing that makes me want to live is when stuff is coming in the mail. Let's read that again. Literally, I tell you, the only thing that makes me want to live is when stuff is coming in the mail. Okay? Or when I'm modeling. And for math, this biatch saying she will take carts. Bet. Who is it? I wouldn't get shoes that have been on someone else's feet that much. I'll get you those Nikes. I want vintage designer. I want to feast. I want to bean feast. Okay. We could take it to somebody that fixes shoes too. I just need cute summer stuff and I'm not getting it. Like I literally need a job, but I don't want to work. Let's read that again. I just need cute summer stuff and I'm not getting it. Like I literally need a job, but I don't want to work. Like this is why I wish I could just be a no sugar baby. And Kenzie, I understand that's what makes you happy, but that's the same as taking drugs. It just feeds your dopamine receptors. It's not real happiness. And yeah, I will buy you things, but you giving me strikes and stuff is not going to make me want to spend good money on you. And if you do any of that stuff, we will be done. No question about the sugar baby. And what do you mean a no sugar baby? I would watch your effing mouth. For real, buddy. He says threats again. He says the comment is a fact. I'm not saying anything offensive. Now, do you still want to play Fortnite? Because if not, I'm a shower. She says, they just talk to me, or I'm just there. I don't do anything sexual. I don't know. You capable of not being an effing D? I love how I tell you how I feel, and then you just tell me that's not how I feel, and you tell me the opposite thing, and this is not how I feel is right. Like, no. Only I know how I feel. I know what makes me happy. I told you, if we're going to try again, I'm going to keep strikes, and if you get 10 strikes, we're done. He says, Kenzie, that's simple human psychology. Do you want me to show you all the books on psychology and happiness I've read? She says, I could give 2 Fs. I do not care. He says, like I know what I'm talking about, trust me. She says, and I know what makes me happy. He says, that's not what happiness is. Pleasure isn't happiness. Happiness isn't a feeling. Okay, she says. He says, happiness, all have happened in it. Happiness initially means to happen is basically to be content with happens. That's what happiness is. It's not a feeling at all. Pleasure, excitement, and feelings like that are confused with happiness, but they are only in the moment and can quickly be taken away. Similar to getting high, That is why people chase drugs and money and random things their whole life. It gets them high. It feeds their dopamine. I'm still down to play Fortnite. I'm just letting you know I'm not trying to be a D at all. You say I have to earn things back. Well, you got to too. That's only fair. She says, is that your mind? That's the mindset you're using? Question marks. He says, not exactly, but I'm not going to hurt my pockets and buy you designer right now when you say I have to earn things back. But yeah, I'll get you some Nikes and a couple of things before Florida for sure. But I'm not, but if not, but if I'm not expecting the most from you, don't expect it from me. She says, okay, we'll play that game. This is going to be fun. He says, okay, I guess. He says, do you want to play Fortnite still? If not, I'm a shower and have to run places. She says, I don't know. I feel like that's expected the most for me. And I don't know if I'm trying to do that right now. I can't just be letting you expect the most from me over here while I'm just here. You know? He says playing Fortnite is expecting the most. Okay, I can go shower and get things done. Then, if you want either one works for me, just let me know. She says, I'm just doing what you do. She says, if I'm not going to expect the most of a relationship, then this is much. Then is this much of a relationship? You were the one who told me that first I'm just matching your energy, babe, he says. She says, if you want me to be a trophy wife, treat me like one. Wow. Hi, Amy. Okay. Because you're getting nowhere. He says, you're not showing you're a loyal wife, though. You're keeping strikes over little arguments. You're going to break up with me after 10. That sounds like a part-time wife. But all right, I'll treat you like a trophy wife then, I guess. She says, have I ever actually gone through with the breakup? I mean, yeah, I know my worth. I'm not going to let someone who doesn't treat me like a trophy wife get the trophy wife package. Like, I'll dead arse clean your house every effing day. I'll scrub the floor on my knees. Just treat me good. He says, Kenzie, before all this started happening, you know I treat you good. I take you out to the nicest restaurants in Cleveland every week. I buy you new clothes every month. I massage you every day. Like we get pedicures together. I cook for you every week. And that's just off the top of my head. Then he says, and I really don't ask for anything from you. Even the agreement to get back together, I just said respect, compassion, and kindness, and you've been threatening me since. She says, you've been rude to me multiple times and done weird things. He says, like, you got the lifestyle of a bougie 40-year-old and you're 17. We live like the rich white people in Strongsville, like we pretty lit, no cap. She says, I'm not saying we're not late and we don't live the good life. He says, you know I treat you good, though. She says, you treat me good when you want to. He says, I buy more clothes for you than for myself for a while. She says, you always belittle my problems. He says, but last month I bought you a good amount of shite. He said, but last month I bought a good amount of shite for myself. I'm not trying to belittle your problems. I'm trying to make you view them smaller. I'm never try to make you feel like that. She says, that doesn't ever help, ever. I tell you, you make me feel like that, and then you still do it too. He says, well, then I won't do that then, but I always think better to make them seem smaller than bigger. Like if I'm drowning in 8 feet of water and someone else is drowning in 12, yeah, I'm still drowning, but it could be 12 feet under, like that other guy. So I got a good chance of getting out, you know? She says, Fort, I have a doctor's appointment at 3 on my lunch. Can I give this girl 2 carts to do my math work? That's better than 50, I feel like. Yes, way better. Make sure she do it first. I will. She's in my math class before I dropped out of high school. Bet. I'm about to get on, he says. She says the doctor is telling me weed is bad for me. The holistic. He says, I don't think so. It cures cancer. That should say enough. He says it's hella bad for you. I'll explain more. He says, because of the smoke or the THC? She says, bro, I'm salt. They're trying to put me on anxiety meds. Like, what the F? He says, nah. See, doctor's F. Just trying to make money off you. OMG, she says, I'm so mad. I'm so mad at my mom right now. Holistic doctors, like I thought that was herbs. Bro, nah, he says. WTF. WTF. She says, I'm so mad. He says, do they even ask what you eat or if you exercise? Nope, she says, or if you sleep enough. He says, I'm not trusting it. She's sending something, an audio message of something. She says, I'm pissed. I brought up sleep, exercise, and good food. He said, weed gives cancer, and edibles are also bad for me. He says, dude, please punch that sheep in the face. She says, I'm getting an x-ray right now. Yeah, I'm never going back. He says, dude is literally what's wrong with the world. She says, I think I'm just going to do edibles and clean my bong really good. Yeah, do that, he says. She said, we need to find a doctor that likes herbs and likes food and exercising. I'm so mad. My mom is literally so dumb. And eat good and exercise, he says. That doctor is dumber. She says, he told me it was not mold, though. He says, doctors are literally top 5 cause of death in America. He says, if it was mold, I would be like extremely sick. He said he can hear the stuff in my lungs, though, which I believe because my lungs are heavy. Play dead arse. He didn't bring up food, exercise, sleep. Never trust a doctor, he says, ever. She says, WTF, like, are you okay? Why the F are you being a D? He says, yeah, are you? You're getting mad at me because I'm just trying to help you not get scammed by another doctor? You're going to pay more money for what could be read in a book in a day? I'll read the book for real, not hurting me, getting smarter. And she's texting stuff to him here. He says, the first one says acupuncture. Isn't that needles in your back? And yeah, we can definitely go to that place for herbs. She said, yeah, I want to go to that place. He says, we can go today if you want. She says, let's go. You can pick me up when I get home. I'm getting Starbucks. I don't want to be in this weird arse house about. He says, okay, bet. I just got one play to run and I'm free. I'm free. It's close by too. She says, okay, yeah, you can come get me in a second. I'm about to be home. You need to go and buy those filters for my bong. They not in yet, he said. You want me to hit my play first, or you want me to come with, Also, I want to get a sub. Where is the play? A sub? From where? Penn Station. Me and Angela were going to go. Hell no, you can go, but I'm cool. And the play is by Walmart. I'm kind of weirded out, eating at restaurants and stuff like that now. Mailbox kid. Probably because they probably don't use good ingredients for their food. I can just come with you to do that if you want. Did you know cold foam is made with cow milk? I'm not surprised, he says. So you want to come with us? Yes, she says. I'm about to be home, but I'm hungry. I wonder if there's a place that does that, but all natural. We should start making dinner and never go out to eat anymore because restaurants are bad. He says we should make dinner most of the time and still go to Luca's though. Yeah, we should. And make like a cool shirt too, but Lucas is only the restaurant I think I'll ever go to anymore. He says we should ask them where they get their food from. We definitely could, he says. What's your trap snap? I'm hungry, but I want fresh bread and fresh stuff, she says. We should find someone that makes fresh sandwiches. He says, what do you mean fresh sandwiches? Like what kind of sandwich lunch meat isn't necessarily fresh? She says, I want fresh bread, fresh lettuce, fresh meat, but I don't want to go somewhere like Subway or Penn Station. Do you want to go to the market? She says. He says, we probably have to do that ourselves. I don't know of a place that does that. She says, well, then we have to get fresh ingredients to make it and find a good place to get like meat, maybe. He says, yeah, we'll figure those things out soon. She says, I'm home, but I'm really hungry. He says, me too. I was about to get subs with Angelo, but he hasn't answered. She says, well, I kind of just want a fresh sub too. But I want it all natural. What's your trap snap? He says, I don't really know much about the lunch meat. I just know you don't want no nitrates and preservatives and stuff. What one? She says, Gibbs Butcher Block. He says, I miss the carnivals. What? She says, you just effed up, by the way. Tried to give you a chance to fix yourself, but you effed up. This is all the same day, guys. So you know that we're on March 3rd. We're still on March 3rd. You told me to hang up. Fine. I'll just ditch Angelo and play another one. Like what? He says, like, please don't start with me. I've already been mad as F all day. She says, he ditched you first. Just go get your food, shaking my head. He says, nah. Gee, terrible at answering his phone. He is probably cleaning up cat piss or something. He says, these are dope as F. One sec. He's sending clothes and stuff again. Oh my gosh. He says, these are nice and they don't look that expensive. She says, tell me why the F? Danielle just woke me up. My effing swinging at 8 a.m. And now I'm effing arguing with my mom, explaining to her why that's not okay, like she doesn't understand why that's not okay. He says, that's so dumb, I'd be salty. Yeah, swinging is okay, not at 8 a.m. though. I'm so mad right now, she says. I'd be too, for sure. She says, yeah, I told her that Danny used to be quiet, and she was like, sometimes you walk hard at night too. Like, what the F, she says. He says they treat her like tofu. Dude, I don't even know, she says. She literally make herself slow. He says, same with tofu. She says, no, like as soon as Danielle got a high school, she became like an actual like R word. She says, I got a full night's sleep, and then this dumb arse had to wake me up at 8 a.m. He says, them jeans she's wearing go way higher than the top. At least it wasn't earlier than 8 a.m. She says they would never fit me. He says, I like those, but they expensive. I can get you way better stuff for the money from an actual jeweler. She says, extra, extra small. Okay, she says. What? He says. I added them to my cart. She says, Lexi just said she can't do the math. I'm effed. She can't do English, though. She can do English, though, right? He says. She says, like, I'm not going to graduate. N-word, what? No, what the F are you talking about? He says, like, Lexi was supposed to do your English first, not your math, you told me. Oh, I forgot. She says, he says, yeah, when you told me about her doing your work, you said Lexi loves English or something like that. So is she not doing either? I asked, she said, hold on. She says, I'm not going to Polaris again. We keep doing box braids. Answer now. You have 10 seconds to tell me who you are with. He says, I don't answer for not even 10 minutes. You call me, I answer. She says, Blair should be worried. He says, when you hit a workout, you don't stop. You do it all at once. And you're holding me up. It was 8 minutes. You call, I answer. She says, okay. He says, okay, I'm going to finish my workout. Now you're ruining my pump. She says, I don't give a F. If Blair's ever at your house while I'm there again, there will be deep issues. If you ever don't tell me what you're doing and then ignore me, there will be issues. I'm waiting. You obviously still can't apologize for yourself. When I called, you should have been, sorry, babe, I was working out. I'm not gave me some attitude like was Blair's D in your arse or something. He says, I wasn't ignoring you. You have never worked out like a dude. My hands are full. She says, what the F are you trying to say? Girls work out different than boys. Like, are you effing okay? She says, I'm doing sets with heavy weights in my hand. Don't just drop them and be all on my phone. He says, have you ever benched? She says, F yeah, I have, and I would watch your mouth. She said, you're honestly sounding like an incel. He says, you're not doing what I'm doing, so don't tell me how I should do it. Like, if you're doing hair or nails, I'm not going to question. She says, I would watch your mouth. He says, I don't do hair or nails. You don't bench press. She says, I didn't ask. You asked me if I have before, and I have a bench press before. He says, yeah, I'm not going to answer for a second. I'm hitting a set. She says, it doesn't matter if there's a boy or girl version. You can tell me that you're effing working out, and now you're going to apologize to me. He says, you called me though, I answer. So don't give me shite. Not when you're rude on the phone for no reason. She says, is that what you're going to say? Like, you were in an effing D as soon as I answered the phone. Last chance. Like, no reason to be mad. Didn't answer your text for 8 minutes because I'm hitting a set, he says. She says last. He says, Kenzie, you were giving me attitude. She says, I'm sorry. I'm finishing my workout. Excuse me. He said, I'm sorry. I'm finishing my workout. Sorry, that was him. He says, you're not going to ruin my workout because I didn't text back. So petty. She says, wow, good job. Any friends that you act different around, I am not cool with. So Blair also can apologize to me, or you have to apologize for acting different in front of Blair. You're probably not going to stop doing that, though. You never do. Just do your effing workout. He says, not acting different. You're honestly just ruining my workout for real. Like, you don't work out like me, so you don't get it. You're not going to stop doing what you did either. You got on the phone immediately was disrespectful. Like, you didn't answer me for 3 hours because you were doing Nat's nails. I didn't answer for 5 minutes. I was hitting a workout for 8 minutes. Like, I'm hitting a set. For real, about to make me tweak. Like, I answered the phone. Don't give me shite. Like, for real, don't get me heated, because that was the same R word, shite. Say, you didn't answer me for 8 minutes now? I'm not calling you tweaking. It's 8 minutes. She says, actually, I'm just sitting on the conversation waiting for you to finish having a tantrum. He says, and that isn't a tantrum. And he says, saying I have a D in my arse, like, you do this again, we are done. I don't care. That made me so mad. How am I supposed to even wipe my arse and answer to your standards? Like, I couldn't. Or read a book. But no, I have to answer you in 5 minutes or it's a problem. She says, I would watch your mouth, for real. He says, like, do you want me to just not work out ever so I can answer you? No, I'm being serious. It's facts. He says, how am I supposed to do anything and answer in 8 minutes? She says, no, your communication skills suck. That's what's wrong with this relationship. He says, like, what if I want to read a book for 20 minutes? Your expectations are so unreasonable for the most random things. He says, she says, loved. No, your communication. Okay, hold on a minute. She says, work on your communication skills. He says, work on your temper because you have one. He says, I have always had a temper. I was better about it this year, but don't test me. It'll be right back because that's what it's feeling like. Kenzie says, if your temper comes back, we're done. Like, what the F is going on? He says, then don't test my temper. She says, excuse me? He says, don't be trying to test my temper when you call me on the phone. Don't give me attitude, and you won't get no temper or attitude back from me. And then she says, you answered with effing attitude. From now on, you're going to tell me what you're doing before you do it. If you're not going to answer me for a long period of time, I do the same effing thing. I don't know why this is so hard for you to do. He says, Kenzie, you called me with attitude. I'm busting my arse in the gym. And right now, yeah, I'm going to be pumped up. He says, why is it called the Grand Resort, but it's in Ohio? She says, LOL. He says, that looks dope. The Warren is only an hour away. We could go. She says, comments. He says, what does it say before mean to him? Out of sadness, I'm watching on Safari, so it won't show. And then she sends a bunch of comments through. He says, the one girl says he thinks it doesn't hurt me that I treat him how I do. And then she says, you think this is funny? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Another one from Tim, just that one comment is funny. She says, like, I'm serious, going to be done, seriously going to be done. You wonder, WTF, why TF, I don't talk to you. WTF. He says, she's saying it hurts when she treats him shitey. How it's not that funny. Of course, you ignore everyone else except that one comment, she says. Dominic says, that's like me hitting you and saying it hurt me. She says, oh, okay, I don't think this relationship is working. He says, what? Because that girl made a funny comment. She says, I literally can't tell how you feel without you making it a joke. Are you actually mentally ill? Like, why the F are you still saying it's funny? Like, what is wrong with you? He says, tell me how you feel, then don't send me TikToks. She says, yeah, we're done. Weird as F. He says, okay, fine. That's cool. Okay, bet, she says, if that's what you say. He says, the other comments, I-G-E. Then he says, I mean, I get it, but I thought that one was a joke. Like it's saying you punched someone, but it hurt you. And Instagram, that does not make sense. I just thought she was making a joke. But yeah, if you want to break up with me over some dumb shit, go ahead. I'm not stopping you. I was going to ask if you want to go to Saks in a little too. She says, why the F would I go to Saks with someone who can't even understand how I feel? Like, what the F? Like, actually, what the F? You know I'm trying not to smoke and you literally being a D. I tell you how I feel for effing once in my whole entire life and you make an effing joke of it. Even if that one comment was funny, there was still like 15 comments that weren't. I would be effing answering if I was you. Do you have 5 effing seconds? Like N-word? He says, I'm sorry. That was the one I noticed. If you want to tell me how you feel, please just FaceTime me or talk to me in person. Things can get miscommunicated over text. She says, I know you didn't just answer that a one. Like, are you for real? Are you for real? Like, for real? He says, sorry. You and Blair were calling me at the same time. Blair, she says. He says, I didn't know how to answer. She says, you are putting Blair over me? OMG. Hey, that rhymes. He says, I was ignoring it and I texted you. OMG, she says. Dude, Blair, ever effing is near me when I'm around you again, he better run for his effing life. Wow. He says, no, I didn't answer either. She says, I will actually F him up. He says, you want to see my call log? She says, dead arse. He should be scared. I don't even care, she says. I don't care. Remember you delete things off your phone so I can't see them? Remember when you told me that? She says, question marks. He says, you're tripping. Don't make it about that both y'all were calling me at the same time. He said, you're tripping. Don't make it about that. Both y'all were calling me at the same time. She says, why the F would I trust a single thing you ever say when you literally delete things off of your phone? And he says, and I ignored both y'all to text you. I didn't mean it like that, he says. But for real, if you want to talk to me about how you feel, please call me. Call me or tell me in person. Things can get miscommunicated over text. I can read stuff in a totally different expression than meant to be, he says. She says, I would rather die than do that because you're just going to tell me that it's funny. Wow, she wants to die. And I would rather you tell me it's funny over text message than in person, so I can effing cry alone. You effing suck. He says, like I'd ever do that. She says, you just did it. He says, I'd never do that. I thought the TikTok comment was funny. It could be looked at different ways. I'd never intentionally laugh at you when you're being serious. Never intentionally. She says you actually did it twice, and I even gave you a chance to fix yourself. He says, especially in person, like, what? She says, you said it was funny. And then I said, you think it's funny? And then you said it again. So clearly there's a misstuff and you're not learning or changing. He says unintentionally. She says step. Thinks she means stop. If you're unintentionally going to be an effing a-hole, then I don't want a relationship. Question marks like, why the F? Is it so confusing for you? And he says, Kenzie, you say I need to communicate better. And she says, you wonder why I never effing tell you how I feel. This just made me never want to talk to you even more. You do, she says. He says, but then try to communicate through TikToks. She says, you are literally terrible at communicating. He says, that's not communicating. That's communication barrier. She says, it is telling you exactly how I feel. I would watch it. For real. You're one text away from being blocked. I would watch your mouth and think hard before you send a message. If this message that you're about to send, you, the deck response, we're done. D. He says, whatever, Kenzie, I just try to speak reasonable facts and you don't like to hear it. I guess I'll stop. She says, half the things that come out of your mouth is insane as F. You haven't spoken a reasonable fact in probably over 3 years. He says, oh, so expecting someone to answer in 5 minutes isn't insane. Maybe me telling you things I read from books is insane. She says, not when their cell phone is glued to their pocket or their hand. You're on either of your phones all day long. He said, my cell phone wasn't in my pocket. I was hitting sets and I seen you call and I answered. She says, with attitude. He says, that's actually a really good answer for hitting fat sets with my phone not on me. You gave me attitude first, babe. She says, I didn't. He says, babe, yes. Don't start. She says, and why you're ignoring me is not attitude. You're being an effing a-hole. As soon as I call you, I would watch your mouth once again. I would watch your mouth, she says. He says, tone of your voice say a lot. She says, I would watch your mouth. She said, when you're literally working out with your boyfriend and you ignore me, I'm going to be effing weirded out. Like, how am I supposed to know you're not getting D in the effing locker room? Question marks, question marks. Why the F? Like, did you say that to me? He says. He says, that shite is so gross and offensive. She says, you're the one who jokes about it with him 24/7. So how am I supposed to not believe it? Question mark. He says, when you know WTF happened to me, don't talk to me about that shite. She says, okay, I'm sorry. He says, what just happened here? Uh-oh, I just messed up. Let me see here if I can. Hold on, let me see if I hit. No, can't hit redo. Okay, I think we were on. me see. We were on 3, 4. Let me just go over here. 26, 6, 5, 4. Okay, now we're beyond that. 27, 2, 34. No, we're a little bit up from that. We're on 3, 4. So let's see if this is 3, 5. I can't believe it's all one day. Oh my gosh. Still on 3, 5. Before, let's see. Okay, Blair is. Oh, he better run for his life. We got to that. Okay, that's where we were. Let's see. Told her about the TikToks. It's communication barrier. Tones of your voice say a lot. Then be nice to me. Then don't act like that. And you don't know how you're effing making you didn't have to go through. Okay. Okay, we're right here, I think. All right, don't talk to me about that shite. Okay, I'm sorry. If it's a joke, sure, it's cool. Don't try to say I'm gay. She says, then be nice to me. He says, I'm freaking out. Don't call me gay. Don't call me gay. She says, no, then don't joke about it if it makes you uncomfortable. He says, don't call me gay. She says, then don't act like it. He says, no, you don't know how you're making me feel. She says, and you don't know how you're making me, how you're effing making me. He says, you don't have to go through what I had to. She says, I literally opened up to you and you told me it was funny. He says, you make one more gay comment, I'm gonna go insane. She says, do you want me to tell you this is funny? Question mark, question mark, question mark. He says, like, I'm just trying to go work out and now I'm gay. So, like, WTF, you're so mean about it to literally most insensitive thing ever. Like, that's what I'm talking about. She says, do you know what insensitive? You're telling me it's funny when I open up to you. Like, I love when I play your games back on you and you freak out. Like, now you know how I effing feel. No, Kenzie, he says, it's way more sensitive being mean as F to me about that shite. Like, I tell you things so you can understand me, not hurt me. She says, well, I already apologized about it, so I'm not going to do it again. And that wasn't supposed to be directed at that. It was because you make gay jokes to Blair. I mean, if you joke about being gay with Blair, I'm going to start to believe it, especially when you're with him 24/7. He says, I make gay jokes, but it's different. You don't say that shite to me. She says, like you literally make those jokes. Ha, ha, and drag them out. And she says, like, it makes me effing uncomfortable too. He says, you're serious and in department like D and Rs. She says, I don't want to hear my boyfriend talking to his friend about doing weird arse, gay shite. He says, like I might say some dumb shite to F with him, but I don't say gross arse shite like that. She says it makes you just as uncomfortable as me, but you don't hear me effing telling you it's funny. She says, I don't really think it's dumb. I think it's gay. You do say weird shite sometimes. I literally have heard it. Whatever, though. He says, Kenzie, you talk to me. Disrespect about some gay shite. I'll never talk to you again. She says, I'm all done here. This isn't even what this conversation is originally about. He says, like, don't hit me there. Hell no. She says, then don't effing hit me there. He says, now that you've offended me, you're done? Wow. She says, when I open up to you, which is something that's hard to do because you've literally effed both of my best friends. There she goes, bringing it up again. Like, maybe try being there for me instead of telling me that it's funny. She says, I mean, I already apologized. What more do you want? I mean, you were the one that literally caused this whole argument. He says, Kenzie, you take it places it doesn't have to go. You could correct me when I don't understand and not threaten me. You're mean as F and say cruel arse shite and don't think about how it hurts other people. She said, I gave you a chance to fix yourself and you still said it was funny. He says, like, I'm almost ready to end this. If you can't show respect and compassion, especially towards sensitive things towards me, Kenzie, that's a threat. She says, then end it, question marks. Like you caused all of this effing argument. He says, not correcting. No, I didn't, you did. He says, you made them an argument. She says, I said, and puts a screenshot. She says, you never change. He says, yeah, no correction, just threats. You don't either. She says, and you keep lying to my face, telling me that what you're going to do. He says, you have me raging, ready to kill someone. She says, you think it's funny? That is not a threat. The F, I will literally go kill, tase Blair right now, like, try me. She says, that was giving you a chance to correct what you just texted me. Clearly, you don't understand. Yeah, no correction or anything, just getting mad at me immediately. Like, you can't get mad because someone doesn't get something like TF. Like, people ain't going to look at things the same way because not everyone is the same. She says, okay, I'm going to give you a chance. Do you want this relationship to work or not? Because I'm done trying if you are too. She says, like, I don't even feel comfortable being around you. You're just going to say everything is funny. Why the F would I want to be around you after you just told me how I feel is funny? He says, yeah, I want it to work, but if I'm not tolerating any disrespect or anything mean or anything, he says, Kenzie, I didn't understand, and you tell me I'm taking D up the arse. He says, which is making me seriously want to hurt someone. This is one of the worst things you could say to me for real, like I'm done ignoring when you're super cruel. She says, I'm not tolerating any bad answering. You're belittling my situation. You're not apologizing. You're not changing. You're not being there for me. You putting your friends before me. Like I can literally keep going. He says, Kenzie, I can keep going too. I can keep going. Trust me. She says, me too. He says, name all the things you do for me then. Then name all the things I do for you and see how that matches up. She says, I'm there for you. I answer you hella fast. I clean your house. I get your sales. I give you love. I cuddle you. I get you good skincare. I find cool clothes. I get you food. Like, what the F do you want? Honestly, all that can stop too if you're going to be a effing D. He says, you cleaned my house like twice. Answering isn't doing anything for anyone. She says, okay, then I'll never clean your house again if you're going to be in an unappreciative little F. She says, shite, hire a maid since you're unappreciative. He says, we go and get products together. You never find me cool clothes. I do. I always send you links. He says, you never get me food either. I get you food way more. She says, okay, I'm seriously about to be done with this relationship, so I figure it out. I buy you all your clothes. Clearly, you're not getting it. I take you out to dinner. So money, she says. He says, I find people to do your schoolwork. She says, the only difference I am seeing is you have money and I don't, question mark. I also find people to do my effing schoolwork. I drop what I'm doing all the time to get you food. No, you don't, she said, because I literally have to argue with you 90% of the time just for you to pick up Starbucks for me. He says, look, I do just as much as you, if not more, and you know that. She says you literally had a tantrum because I asked you to get Starbucks because you had to wait maybe 10 minutes in the Starbucks line. He says Starbucks is half an hour line and you always want me to go right when I have hella shite to do. She says, no, the only thing that you do more than me is spend more money because I don't effing have it any. He says, yes, I spend all my time making money. She says, exactly. So you don't get me food because you don't, and you just admitted it. He says, so technically I give you 90% of my time. She says, okay, your point? He says, I cook for you, like the list goes on. She says, and you probably have more than 90% of my time, question mark. What are you trying to get at here? She says. He says, no, Kenzie, 90% of your time is on the phone. She says, because I'm seriously going to end this relationship. Is that a problem? She says, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. He says, why so many question marks? She's put some more question marks, many more. Just doing question marks, question mark, Kenzie. She's up with the question marks and then says, I would answer if I were you. He says, I'm not answering if you're going to spam me. She says 5. He says, like I didn't hit my workout as good. 4. And now I can't even make a shake. 3, 2, 1. He says, because I have to test you rapid fast, or is it a problem? Question mark. Shite. I can't even go take a shite and wipe my arse without it being a problem. I'm guess. She says, I mean, yeah, you honestly like ignore half of the messages I sent. So I kind of like to like make it known that I want you to like answer that message. Yeah, dang, I guess you can't. You're so smart. Your brain is so big. Literally, like, what the F is wrong with you trying to make it something that I'm not even effing talking about? Like, you're literally delusional. I'm talking about you being on your effing phone, she says, and not answering me like you always do. She says, honestly, this is your last chance to make this relationship work because I'm done. And he says, same to you. If you want anything from me, no disrespect on the phone, especially first. No offensive comments. She says, you're not going to get anything from me. And then in general, if you're not going to give me anything, like the F, he says, none of that BS. That's going to make me mad. He says, I cannot answer for 10 minutes. I'm allowed to not understand a TikTok. How you do, like, just tell me what you mean. And if you want to talk about your feelings, please don't do it through TikToks. Half the time I'm watching what you send me, I'm driving or doing something while I'm doing it anyway. I'm never going to take TikToks as serious as the words that come out of your mouth. And you can't even get mad about those other comments. It's only human. And you say I'm digging a hole, like you said in 30 different messages, that you were going to snitch on me, said I was taking D in the R's how many times, and I told you what happened when I was a kid. Like, do you want to make me hate you? If anyone else said shite like that to me, they would be dead. No question. Like, I'm dead arse. They would be dead. Like, for real. Don't bring that person out of me. Don't bring that out of me. Like, you really need to understand before you talk to me, because you don't understand who I am or what I'm capable of or how I feel on the inside. You don't call a black guy the N-word or say N-word because you're not black and don't understand. Think of that with other shite too. If you don't understand or not a part of it, please don't comment on it. She says, so are you going to try or no? I don't know why we have to have this conversation every day. He says, I do try. You're disrespectful when I'm trying to do things. You can't call me mad when I'm busy. She says, are you going to try, yes or no? Yes, he says. Now I'm wiping my arse so I don't get mad and if I don't text back. She says, want to go to Goddess Elite? He says, I want to go to Saks and buy the black triple S. She says, I don't want to go there. It makes me sad. He says, I kind of need to go somewhere. I kind of need to go. I need more conditioner too. I'm like about out. Maybe 2 showers left. Probably only one. I'm about to hit right now, though. I'm about to shower. I'll talk to you in a bit. She says, okay, I need more face mask. I can't go to Sam's. Saks. Why is that? I have a massage and a facial today. Massage at 4. Should I just reschedule? Like I'm already dressed and shite. Question mark. He says, I don't know. Up to you. She says, pick. He says, massage at 4 and facial when? Right after. When would it reschedule also? She says, I don't even know. They hella booked. He said, I feel like you should go. It'll definitely help you a lot. She says, I want to go shopping. I want to go shopping. He says, I don't know. That's a hard one for real. She says, I'm mad. He says, why, babe? I want to go shopping, she says. He says, we can always go shopping, babe. Today I'm going more for me anyway. She says, I'm trying not to smoke. He says, if you want to go have a massage, I can just go by myself or with Angelo or something. And then we can go hang out after. She said, this is not helping. She says, I want to go shopping and get chlorine clothes for summer. He says, a massage and a facial will occupy your mind. Not smoking, better, I'd say. He says, yeah, we could get clothes today. She says, but then I can't get my facial or massage. I don't know what to do. I'm mad. I want clothes. Can we just go to Saks tomorrow? He says, I need conditioner, babe. I'm like out of it. I need it for tomorrow. Let me know what the plan is. What should I wear? Polo tracksuit or a chino jacket or polo hoodie? Bro. He says, Apple is reloading. Then I can. She says, like, I'm actually so confused right now. I can't tell if it's real or not. He says, why? What's going on? She puts something from Etsy. I'm not sure what it is, but he says, I F with it real. It skeleton shite back in style now. You coming with me to the mall or are you going to your massage? She says, massage. What do you mean? The necklace wasn't popular like last year. It's cute AF. I think that one is fake. He says it's a bone necklace, bones and skeletons back in style. She goes, did you see the TikTok? He says, and yes, that's what I was thinking. Massage is the move. I can always let you know what I see at Saks. Sending him a bunch of stuff. He says, big for her first one. He says, dang, Angelo can't go to Saks for a bit. When is your massage and stuff done? She says, I'm on the way home. Why are you not answering? She says, WTF, I'm hungry. He says, let's go out to eat. She says, is that just Nico barking? Why isn't anyone bring him in the house? He's literally been barking for 30 minutes. Really? WTF? Dude, I'm seriously getting pissed off. Yes, I literally just hear a dog effing barking. Is it for sure, Nico? He says, she says, I'm like almost positive it's Nico, but I don't know. Do you hear it? He says, I thought I heard it earlier. I don't know. I texted my mom, though. You hear? It's Nico? Yeah, I'm annoyed AF. He said, close that window behind you, maybe. I did. I'm about to go home. Oh, I hear it now. Do you hear? Like WTF. He goes, I don't think that's Nico. Who is it? I'ma yell out the window, she says. Let your effing dog in. I don't know, for real. That dog's going ham. It might be the dog across the street. Yeah, if you see who it is, definitely yell that. Dude, no, it's Nico. Actually, I think I know what house it is, and I will effing egg them. I think it's the white dog. Should I yell? She says. He says, yep, I hate those people. I knew it. She says, it's that dog. Dumb AF. He says, I think the dog stopped now. She says, I'm about to go knock on her door. He says, do it. You for real should. They just leave their dog there every day. Every day. It's like 60 today. We should do something outside, he says. He says, let me know when. Let me know. She says, let me know when. Well, how could they do something today? Because, wait a second. That was in the AM? Okay, well, I could swear it was in the, all right, whatever. Let me know when. I will I will get dressed and go because I could probably do that 4 times before you're ready. He says, I'm ready. Just let me put some money and a couple of things together. She says, WTF? Why are you taking 3 hours? Answer now, bro. Then she says, a book about getting sex trafficked, but it being the best thing ever. WTF? Single. He says, I was just talking back to you how you were to me. Cool, though. She says, that is an effing lie. She says, that is an effing lie. The only reason you have been nice to me is to get your card back. You prove no change, and actually, I'm glad that you hit your shitey little mailbox. F you, maybe I'll be humbled. Like you're literally a effing piece of shite and you never change and you treat all the women in your life like effing shite and you're a racist. I give you so many chances and you literally blow it every single time. Stop acting like you want to marry me if you're going to be an effing piece of shite. You literally lie just to get your way. You are literally the god of manipulation. Call me a biatch to my face, even though I gave you a chance to fix it. Though I could have you have 4 seconds. He says, my phone died. I didn't call you a biatch. You called me a biatch. She says, honestly, if you want this relationship to work again, you're going to have to buy me a whole Balenciaga bag because I'm not trusting a single thing from you. He said, then I said, no, you were being a biatch. She said, this relationship is never going to work. I'm so glad that I didn't give you anything, but because every time I might want to F or give you something, you do this, and it makes me never want to do it. I'm so glad I think smart. I do things before gross people like you use me. He said, like you called me names first. And she says, what was that? I would love to know. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. He said, you called me a biatch. She said, and you're going to pay Lily $50. He says, I'm not talking about this right now. She says, when? She says, if you're not talking about it right now, then there's never going to be this relationship. He says, before I called you a biatch, you called me a biatch first. She says, yeah, there's definitely a lie. Can you give me the sentence that I used it in? He said, you said I'm being a little biatch. She said, about what? And when did I say that? She says, when was the context? Because I never said that. He said, you said that. She said, and you told me I'm a biatch specifically. And I said, he says, and I said, no, you're being a biatch. You said you're being a biatch. And I said, no, you're being a biatch. She says, yeah, we're done. He says, that's what happened. She says, I'm not telling you what to do. You never change. You literally are delusional and you lie and you can't keep your own word. It's honestly sad. He says, Kenzie, you were making me freak out. And then I hit my mailbox. My bad. And then she says, I seriously don't give a single F. I wasn't making you do anything. And then she says, yeah, no, I'm not going to take that shitey whack apology that she was going to break tomorrow. He says,
but you were like flustering me and I was driving. Like, yeah, I'ma be mad. She says, like, you can't even actually apologize, like literally sad, like you're literally sad, sad. He says, if you were in my position, you'd be mad too. She says, you're going to have to buy me something good. Prove yourself really hard if you want this relationship to work again. He says, look, I'm not putting my energy to this. We both love each other and we both said bad things. If we want to make it work, we'll put it in the past. She says, this is my last text I'm ever sending you. I doubt that, Kenzie. Empty threats. He says, I'm the one with the broken tail light. Like my car needs so much work now. Yeah, I'm going to be salt. She says, let me know if you're going to do that or not, because I'm going to block you. I would choose wisely. I thought that was your last text. Liar. He says, okay, babe. She says, because I could become your worst enemy in an effing day. So are you going to do that or not? Oh, yeah, I'd love to help. I'd love to spend my money on you. Yeah, that's a threat. I don't give an F. She says, 5, 4, 3, 2. Look, Kenzie, let me sit on it, he says. Question mark. Yeah, that's not how it works. He goes, I don't know. I love you, but is this best? Like we both need to control our temper. She says, it's now or nothing. 5, 4, 3, 2. Question mark. Are you for real? Like, I would seriously pick right now or you're getting blocked. Look, she doesn't want to put 1. He's not answering. She says, like, you literally proven yourself to be a liar like 3 times. Look how many times you've been a liar. You can't even put 1 because you're such a liar. He says, Kenzie, you said mean stuff too. And I broke my taillight. Why are you demanding an expensive bag? She says, like, it's almost like the truth is running from you, like you literally cannot keep your word. Neither can you, Kenzie. You lie all the time. An expensive bag and a good boyfriend is what I'm demanding. Yeah. I don't know if he wanted to, he would. You know? He says, Kenzie, you haven't kept your word either. She says, if he wanted to, he would. I have. No, you haven't. She says, then let's see your name a time that I haven't kept my word just now. Oh, and you better text Lily back and give her that money. He says, you say I'm taking D up the arse 3 times a week. She says, I mean, you can't be mad if that's what's happening. He says, that's effed up. She says, and that wasn't part of our agreement. He said, I said no disrespect. She said, and I apologized last time and said I wouldn't do it again, and I haven't done it since then. Kindness and compassion. She says, why would somebody who doesn't give me any of that get that? That's breaking all 3, he says. She says, last chance to say yes or no. I'm actually very kind to you unless you're mean to me first. I'm never just mean for no reason. This is your last chance to say yes or no. Yes, Kenzie, you get mad, and you've been mean to me over little arse shite. I let it slide. Yes or no? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. She says, I don't have time. I don't have the time to be wasting my life with someone that's not going to try and treat me right. So this is your last chance to answer yes or no. He says, Kenzie, I'll be a good boyfriend, but buying you a bag just sounds like you want me to buy you a bag. She says, I do want you to buy me a bag. He says, that's not it. I ain't in it for no gold digger. She goes, okay, then leave. He says, and I told you that you can't threaten to break up with me all the time. And you still have done that like every day. She says, you're the one who told me you would spoil me. But I should have listened to the whole world when you say Libra men can't tell the truth 90% of the time. And she says, no, because we actually broken up right now. That was not a threat. I was serious. I do spoil you, he says. You don't, she says. You haven't spoiled me at all. Yeah, for real, she says. He says, how was your dinner last night? She says, the last time you spoiled me was the Von Dutch pants. Dinner isn't being spoiled. Then we can stop going out to eat if that's your way of spoiling me, because I don't want it. This is your last chance to answer if you're going to try. He says, $200 dinner? So yeah, it's a lot. She says, and after you say yes or no, you better not say anything effing rude. Okay then? I don't ever want to go there again. She says, like, I would rather be given clothes and other items. Like, I don't know why the F. This is an effing argument, question mark. He says, and yeah, I haven't gotten you anything really nice. Could you break up with me every week? She says, if you don't want it, then effing leave. I gave you that chance. You said you were going to be good. Wow, you are so smart. Yes or no? You have 5 seconds to answer or you're getting blocked. It better be a one-word answer. I'm really over this whole conversation. This is how it's going to work. If you think you get to tell me how it effing goes when you cheated on me twice and literally ruined every last bit of trust, you're so silly. He says, Kenzie, I'm not getting you a bag when you act like this. To me, that's the end of you. That's the end of it. You treat me with normal human decency. Yeah, I'll do stuff for you. She says, so I would text back right now, yes or no. He says, yes, but you're going to have to show me you're worthy for real. She says, that's hilarious. If anyone's showing anyone that they're worthy, it would be you to me. I mean, remember when your D was in Jada and Audrey's mouth was on your D? I have a picture to freshen you up if you don't remember. So that's not that's not how it's going to work. It's really it's really not. I've been letting you slide on hella shite, he says. She says, you're going to show me you can be good, and then I'm going to reflect how you treat me. He says, yeah, you let a dude F your feet for money like 6 months ago. That should be even for real. She said, we were broken up. LMAO. He said, we were broken up when I did shite. She said, I'm posting this combo. He says, I mean, for real, though, what I did 3 years ago, what you did was 6 months ago. She said, we were broken up and it was feet, LMAO. Once again, then leave. This is your last chance. If you effing say yes and you're start being an F, you will get blocked. Thick arse head. So it's either going to go my way or you're going to go to the highway because I don't give a single F. He says, yes, but you're going to have to show me you're not going to be disrespectful as F. She says, figure it the F out. He says, then you can get your bag and shite. She says, if you effing say one more thing that I don't effing like, you're getting blocked. I'm not going to be given rewards and I'm going to be I'm not going to be given rewards. I'm going to be gifted out of love. And if you can't do that, then I will go find somebody that will treat me effing amazing and gift to me whatever I want. He says, I'm not going to gift out of threats. I'm a gift when I feel loved. I'm not going to gift when it's demanded. She says, and one more reply I don't like. He says, like WTF, and you will get blocked, she says. He says, it's not a gift then. She says, I mean, I literally have to ask you for literally anything. And I don't think you bought me like anything without asking. I don't even think you would have bought me flowers just randomly like you only do it to apologize. Like it's honestly so funny. Like you think I don't notice all this BS. It's effing hilarious. Honestly, I would start being hella nice right now if I were you. Like this next reply should be so nice. He says, okay, like you disrespect me to me every day and you expect flowers and surprises every day. That's the exchange disrespect for gifts. She says, do you want to be single? Actually, you are single right now. So you're actually going to have to like ask me out again. He says, like, I love you, but this isn't adding up, babe. I'm not going to buy you a bag if you're demanding it. She says, like, for real, you effed up. You got in an accident with me, blamed it on me, then called me a effing biatch. You even, after I gave you the effing chance to fix it, I've been asking you for a bag for like 2 effing years. Stop lying to yourself. You are a joke. You treat every woman in your life terrible. And you're not proving to be better, like you're never going to get better. No matter how hard I effing believe in you, you always prove yourself wrong. He says, Kenzie, I was tweaking out. That's my car. You can never just be good. You always have to do something to just ruin this effing relationship. You don't understand how good I would treat you if you just treated me nice. Like, I don't mean that you said mean shite to me. I didn't give a single F what you meant and what you didn't. I gave you the chance to fix it and you didn't. And then you said it to my face again. 'Cause you were calling me a biatch too, he says. I was not. And I wasn't calling you a biatch again, he says. And you were. This is, she says, this is your last effing chance. Why the F do I have to give you 85 last chance? It's like you're effing dumb. He says, I said that I didn't say you were a biatch. I said you were being a biatch. Like, what the F? Effing answer now, she says. I am sorry, but you're not getting a $2,000 bag right now. Like, I'll treat you good as F. So you're not going to try and this relationship? He says, but you got to treat me good as F. She says, how am I going to believe that when you break that every single time? I'm not doing shite unless you do it. He says, I'll try hard as F, but if I'm single right now, you think I'm rushing back to Saks to get a bag? No. She says, I'm never making a fool out of myself, especially to a boy again. He says, like it's not. You're going to come do anything for me. Yeah, you're right, she says. I mean, you just called me a biatch to my face 2 times. I would never do anything for you in a while unless you prove otherwise. He says, but yeah, if I know this relationship is stable, I'll give you the world. But it's not stable. She says, no, stop telling yourself that because I will break up with you. If that's true, so is that true? Is that true? She says, what do you mean? He says, so what you're saying is you purposely give me less? Is that true? Because that's what you just said. You purposely do less than what you would do. He said, no, I'm not saying that. She says, I would answer right now because you're about to get blocked. He says, you just said the same to me so many times. You just hold sex over my head. It's gross. She goes, remember, you cheated on me, probably more than what I know. 3 years ago, he says. She says, like everyone is just going to go right back to that. He says, like, in way more grown, like I'm way more grown up and mature now. She says, you should be treating me so good no matter what. And if you can't do that, I'm leaving. Like you're seriously going to have to like make this relationship official again. If you want to work, like I'm seriously done right now. Like literally, you don't try. Like you literally act like you're a gross old man Republican. You act like Jeffrey Epstein. He says, you should treat me better. She says, once you give change, I will give change. And that's how it's going to work. He says, if I act like that, then you act like a hooker. She says, hookers, cool as F and rich. He says, hookers gross and have STDs. She said, so then how do I act like a hooker? Slow AF. He says, how do I act like Epstein? She says, I wouldn't say anything bad. He says, Epstein, like what? She says, you only spoil people and do nice things for them when they give you sexual acts in return. Like, I bet I just effed you one day, you would literally be running to Saks the next day. Like, no. He goes, nah, I gave you hella shite this year, and we probably effed like twice the whole year. If I cared about us, I would have dumped you so long ago. Like, why you always make it about us? She says, so how is this relationship going to go? Because right now it's looking like you're just lying to my face because you always do. 5, 4, 3. He says, I want it to work, but right now it looks like you're just trying to have me buy you a bag. It's more than just the bag at this point. I don't even care about that because you're probably never going to buy me one in the first place. I was just seeing if it actually would, but good to know that you wouldn't. Okay, Kenzie, sure. So what? Like, you gonna fix this or not? She says. He says, I'm not buying you a bag. I said I was sorry, but buying you a bag right now is a little much and I ain't buying your love. She goes, so are you going to fix this or not? Yes or no? Yes or no? Answer now. He says, what is there to fix? I didn't mean what I said, and I said I was sorry. I literally gave you a chance to fix what you said, she said, and you said it to my face again. You meant that shite. You said that shite straight to my face. And Dom says I was just correcting what I actually said. And you stomped your Chipotle out and threw juice on my car. She says, I thought juice on your car. I threw juice on your car after you called me a biatch and I gave you a chance to fix it. If it's called cause and effect, to get used to it. And I stopped on my Chipotle like 5 minutes before we got to my house. So what are you talking about, delusion? He says, like, you know how hard it is for me. She said, you know how hard it is for me not smoking weed. Like, you make me want to hit a 10-second bong rip. Like, what the F is wrong with you? Do you know will be crazy? You can call me a biatch every single day. If you give me a Balenciaga bag, I think that would solve problems. Wow. So he can call her a B every single day if he gives her the Balenciaga bag. Wow. He says, Kenzie, I was correcting you to what I actually said. I wasn't trying to say it again. She says, like, if that really makes you happy calling me names, only if you buy me a Balenciaga bag, you can treat me like pure shite and I won't care because clearly that's what you want. You broke apologies, mean nothing. You literally breaks your apologies every single day. None of that means anything. I don't think you've got a full week since apologizing without breaking your original apology. He goes, no, Kenzie, that did not make me happy at all. I felt bad I was yelling, but I was mad. I busted my tail light. What apology am I breaking? She says, so you didn't just calling me a biatch, but when I gave you a chance to correct what you were calling me, you said it again? That sounds like you like it. He says, Kenzie, I wasn't trying to call you a biatch again. How many times do I have to say that? I've said that 5 times, babe. I was not trying to call you a biatch again. I was trying to tell you what I actually said. She said, you're going to worship me like the goddess I am, or we are all done. He says, I need to be worshiped like the God then too. Bad response. She said, we're going to try this again. You're going to worship me like the goddess I am, or we all done. He says, we will treat each other equal, or I'm done. Bad response. Last chance. You're going to worship me like the goddess I am, or we all done. He says, so you're saying you don't want equality in our relationship? Bad response, she said. Last effing chance. Like, what the F? You're going to worship me like the goddess I am, or we all done. Why is that a bad response? Wow. Okay, we all done. He says, you're literally saying you don't want our relationship to be equal. Like, what, what do you mean? She says, you're going to worship me like the goddess I am, or we all done. 5-minute timer starting now. He says, I'm not treating you like a goddess unless I'm treated like a god. She says, see, that's not how it's going to work. You're going to prove to me that you can be a good boyfriend before I start doing anything. And if you can't do that, then this isn't a relationship. Answer now. Answer now. Answer now. Answer now. Only K, timer starting now. He says, you have to prove you can be good girlfriend, though. OMG, last effing chance, or are we done? I'm so serious. He says, Kenzie, this relationship will be equal or I'm good. She says, nothing on my end will be happening until you show otherwise. Until you prove yourself, I'm just going to match your energy. You will be going first. We tried this at the same time and you lied to my face and you didn't change. So what's it going to be? Like right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, question mark. She won't put the 5, see? Bro, what the F? You seriously must want no life and to be single? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Put the 5, Kenzie. Question mark, question mark. No, you lied too. You've been terrible the past 2 weeks. Is that a no? 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 Kenzie, you haven't kept your promise either, and I've been letting it slide. Is that a no? Is that a no? Is that a no? You have to show me too, he says. Is that a no? 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 Okay, I'm not texting back to that, he says. Is that a no? Is that a no? So childish, he says. Is that a no? Is that a no? See, you just called me another name. We are effing done unless you're going to do like I said. No, I didn't. I said it's childish. She says, if you can't do it, I said, then we're done because if you wanted to, you would. He says, repeatedly saying this is childish. Then we are done until you prove yourself otherwise, and I will be carrying on with my life. I gave you options and multiple chances, and you still chose to do otherwise. I told you it's my way or the highway. You can go F, nasty Parma, dirty cheeks if you want, but I'm cool. Okay, Kenzie, I'll be just fine, he says. Think that. I would watch your back from now on, and your house, and your car, and your life, and any of your friends. Pretty much anything, I would watch it. Because if you wanted to, you would, and you just proved yourself to me in a simple message. Actually, your car already got it. He says, Kenzie, this isn't right, and you know it. You're right, and it's only going to get worse. But okay, babe, he said. I'm not your babe anymore. Oh, true, he said. If you wanted to, he would. And that's what I'm going to leave this at. She says, honestly, you're going to fix this tonight. Okay, she's going to leave it at that, but she can't even stop. A minute later, honestly, you're going to fix this tonight, or there's going to be serious problems. And yes, I'm telling you how it's going to be. Like, I'm dead arse. Like, you're going to fix this right now. Like, you're going to fix this right now. Like, right now. You're going to fix this right now. 5, 4, 3, 2. Why? WTF. 5, 4, 3. You're going to fix this right now. Like, right now. Okay, bet. On the way. What? Why? I'm calling the cops. To your house. If you don't open the door right now, you have 5 to open. I'm not home. I'm out eating with Angelo. And you can't call the cops to my house. That's not going to do anything. 5, 4. Don't make my mom come out there like WTH. I'm at your house. I'm going to break a window. I'm going to tell my mom, and then to go ask you to leave. She's showing the window, and she's got a big FU there. Maybe lock your windows, you effing idiot. I'll be waiting. Says now my mom has to do something. I'm not leaving. We're going to talk. I would be on the way back if I was you. Now go home. My mom is going to go over there if not. Nope. You're going to come back here right now. It would be a very bad decision if you had your mom come over here and help me leave. It would be bad. Nah, you're tripping, he says, and there would actually be serious problems. You should leave, he says. If I was you, I would come back here and talk like a mature person, she said. He says, especially after threatening me. She says, you're going to come back here and talk to me or there's going to be a problem. He says, okay, I'm going to call your mom then and have her make you leave. She says, she knows I'm here, I told her. And she's not going to do shite. I drove myself here. If you do not come back right now, there's going to be a problem. You are proving yourself so hard right now. He says, if you don't dip right now, there will be a problem. She says, like you're literally showing me who you are on the inside. If you do not effing come here in 10 minutes, there's going to be a problem. He said, nah, why you climb in my window? How I'm literally out eating. I guess I'll have Angelo drop me. Like WTF, I'm waiting. You're lucky I'm calm right now. You may not see it, but your phone away to break my heart literally every single time it hurts. What baby said? Phone away? She said, you break my heart every time. What, babe? I don't try to. She says, I try to give you so many changes, means chances, and other options to fix things. Like, I'm so sad. My heart is shattered. I don't think it could be worse. He says, Kenzie, earlier I was mad. I effed up my car, and yeah, I'm not going to do things if it's demanded or threatened, and change does happen, but not overnight. I don't expect you to change overnight either. I'm on Fort. I'm talking about every single day, not earlier. I could easily change overnight if you did. Are you just not going to play now? I'm cleaning my air fryer. Hold up. I'ma just go to bed. I'm like done cleaning it. You said you were going to play. He says, just give me 2 minutes. Kay, I didn't know you were getting on. Well, I didn't know for sure. Look, Kenzie, show me some change. I'll show you some change. I want this to work just as much as you did, but please don't ever bring up cops again. That's not going to help. Sorry, took longer than I thought to season those wings. She says, I think I'm going to puke. So this is my last game. I don't feel good. He says, what's wrong? You probably need to eat. Eat something light on your stomach. You done or another? Did you break the screen to my window? She says, WTF, no. Question mark, question mark. Why isn't it in the front lawn? It was off when I went there. I thought that was from you climbing in the bathroom window. He says, I thought you climbed in the bathroom window. That's by my room, not the main bathroom. No, the bathroom by the living room. Shows the photo again. See? Yeah, I didn't know the screen was already off. Why do you know? Are you outside? Okay? Because I went to the bathroom and the window was open a little. She says, I was so good in Fortnite 4 years ago. That's the world, I'm pretty sure, because none of them are my friends. He says, you're number 3 in Fortnite for the world? Yes, 4 hours ago, sorry. Years. That's insane. I was so effing good. I don't even know. Are you up? Yeah, I'm taking a shite. Fort. I know. I took him on a walk and he drove home in a Mercedes. Join. Question mark. Hold up. I thought your phone died. It did. I'm effing shadow banned. On TikTok? Question mark. WTF, for real? My bad, was putting a net on my basketball hoop. I'm pissed. Why? Question marks. Why am I putting the net on? It's sunny. It's 70, sunny, and I wanted to shoot before it got cold and windy. I want to play Fort. Give me a second. Play. What is happening? Couple more shots. I'm bailing out, LOL. I found this app, she says. What app is that, he says. Add me on Snapchat. Just got to Jared's. What's up? All she's doing is sending him links. What, babe? She says, I might not get the dress because now that I'm thinking about it, I don't want to wear long sleeve in Florida. What, babe? Why are you not answering? Question mark. Sus. I'm in the middle of a convo. I wasn't sussed out until that phone call, by the way. He says, I wasn't trying to be on the phone. We talking about shite. Question marks. He says, I'm still trying to find what to eat. Might just get that hot chicken takeover, or Johnny's just saying. Okay, Fort. Then she says, "Hi, my name is Mackenzie Shirilla, and I am a content creator slash model. Most of my contact is me. She means content. Oh my gosh, she will mean content, Mackenzie. Is me opening packages or styling outfits. I've seen your brand on Instagram and TikToks, and your clothes are my style. I would love to create content to promote your business. Petite girls want to see petite girls represented. If you give me the chance, I'll show you why I deserve it. My TikTok is at Baby Kush. I have 8,132 followers, and most of them are pretty active and comment on most of my videos. I'm going to add a photo of my engagement so you can see. It's called a screenshot, honey. My followers are 78.5% female and 21.5% male. I'm very close with my followers, and they know I'm very trustworthy, which why you really need a proofreader, honey. Which why I think I'm a good candidate for this partnership. My Instagram is at Kenzie Shirilla. I have 2,056 followers. My followers range from 18 to 34, with 57.7% women and 47.2% male. Some other brands I collaborated slash partner with is Busties. Question mark. That's good. You have everything laid out for them so they don't have to ask or anything. Okay, bet. I'll get on Fortnite in a second, he says. Might have to get food right now, though. She says, I wanted to make sure it's good. He says, I think it's good. I'll read it again in a little and let you know if I think of anything you could add or if I think it could be better. But right now, that's definitely solid. You want to pick me and take me? He's sure, yes. Let me know when he's 43 here. Closes at 9, so let's try to be quick. Here. Now they're playing a game. What the app? She shows something. Who is that? I'm so mad right now. That person that was doing my effing math. Why can't they do it? I thought that they said it was easy. I don't even know. They did. I'm so pissed. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. At least it slowly keeps getting done for free. LOL. Right though, LOL. I'm mad. How much of it is done? I don't even know. Not bad. That looks like 30% done almost. Post about math. No one I know is going to be able to take it in person. Do you know a good graphic designer? My dad. Is he going to have time? He has like Emmy Awards for that. Yeah, he would make time for you. I was thinking like some Instagram person I can pay. What do you want? Him to edit cartoon characters. He can definitely do that. Can you please buy me the shoes before they sell out? Like, I will even pay for them at this point, she says. He says, I said I'd buy them. The Nikes? Yes, you keep saying you're going to buy them, but you're not buying them. So they're going to sell out. They're already missing hella sizes. Like, I need them, but they're going to take a while to come in. You have to buy them, and then I'll give you the cash. Or you got to go deposit the cash. I don't have any effing money on my card down. Why are you and my card down? Why are you not getting about this? He says, chill with the effing. I'm offering to buy the shoes. I just said you have to deposit the cash then. Do you want to just do that today? Then I'll let you have my card. I have school. The ATM didn't work last time. I'm not trying to have my money ate like your mom. You're going to have to go in and deposit it. F. Okay. The gym is silent. as F, and there's hella people in here, so it's pretty awkward being on FaceTime, he said. She says, I would rather you tell me that you want to hang up instead of having a conversation like that. You just made that awkward, not me. He says, I was trying to be quiet. Dry and quiet, very different things, she says. You were both. He says, okay, next time, I'll just text you. Then she says, want to go to an aquarium? Take hella edibles and go to aquarium. He says, when? She says, today, after school. He says, yes, let me see what all I got to do. She says, let me know, I want to go, or we can go to the market. He says, that might be better. I need groceries. I need protein powder bad. She says, I just got called down again. For what? To Polaris, she says. What they doing, he says. They're really trying to get me out of here. Should I just drop out of the shitey school? Literally, what the F? He says, I just got out of the shower, just got to brush my teeth and get dressed. She says, I'm ready. How long? I don't know. Not too long, just blow drying my hair a little, real quick. Time? Then she says, do you remember what I wore last time I went to the market? Because I'm wearing a tracksuit and I don't want to wear the same thing I wore before. Never mind. I know what I wore. Just try to hurry up because I'm trying to go. I don't want to just keep sitting here staring at my book. Bong. I got you. I'll hurry. Bring food edibles. Food. Good. Or should I just hit my bong? I literally haven't hit it in days. 3 days. 4 days. Question mark. I have there for you. I was going to bring stuff so we can make some later if you want. RSO, don't get me high. It's gross too. Take more of it. You barely took any. Let me know when you're here, I guess. Let me know when you're just going to stop talking on the phone. That's weird. What, he says? Question mark. You just stop talking. He says, maybe it's connected to my car. She goes, so I hung up the phone. He says, because I just started it and ran back in real quick. He says, food getting cooked. They said couple minutes. Okay, she says, do they have a good water? Nah, it just comes out of the pop machine. We should figure out best water brand to buy, he says. Let's see. The Nikes, he says, no, free, no. The bikini. Oh, they don't have free shipping either. No, it's $16, she says. Is that okay, or should I not get that bikini, but I really like it? No, you can get it, he says. I love you, babe. Question mark. I'm hungry. There's no food here that I feel good eating. And you were probably thinking about Hannah, and that's why you didn't want to tell me. Come over. I'm making pesto. It's really good, trust me. Okay, coming, she says, on the way. What's your email? She says, I'm sending tracking to your email. Bet. Don't forget hot cocoa. Remind me again in a little. Never mind. My mom is in bed. Never mind. I might fall asleep. Don't forget. She gonna make it? Yes. Text her when you're on the way back. Bet. Dude, this crackhead looking arse couple was holding up the line so hard. Send that video on my car. So he sends a video. Want to go on vacay? I'm suspended for 5 days. Like WTF. If we can plan a cheap one, yes. Florida is in 1 month. Want to just drive somewhere for the day? North Carolina or South Carolina could be a move. I'm down to just drive. Warm arse weather, we can skate or just eat good seafood and stuff. We could even sleep in the car type shite in a parking lot. Would be so fun. Away from you, my mom is just saying, bring a gun, LOL. I wouldn't do that. I'd rather stay in a hotel. I can't legally have guns on me right now. She says, I know, but if we were going to sleep in a parking lot, it would just be safe to have one. I'm so down to go to the Carolinas. We can go to the boardwalk. True. Let's just not sleep in a parking lot. Wow, that sounds so fun. Why? Boardwalk might be like 15-hour drive. Oh, dang. Because I can't bring a gun. Let's discuss today. I'm about to be home. Go hit a workout real quick. Babe, wait. Which Carolina, north or south? North is probably better, he says. We could also go to Virginia Beach. Are you sure? Oh, I'm down for anything. I've never been to any of those places. That's more for the views. That might be dope right now. The beaches look dope. Look it up. Virginia Beaches? Virginia Beach has a boardwalk. Wait. So let me know what location you pick. I honestly don't care. I just want to leave Ohio. You might have to fight this kid. He wants to body shame me for no effing reason, she says. Who is he? He says. Jacob Polanski. I'm about to be on the way home. Is he from Strongsville? Yes. My grade. He's 18. Okay, 1 second. I found his addy. Bet. Should I just comment? When everyone is out of school, we'll pass to see if it's their house. Don't say anything. Okay, bet. Comment is deleted. Who deleted it? Went outside because my phone was out here. I want to smoke. How much oil? Just double what you did last time. Did you find a move? Nah, I'ma just run plays. If I have any, he says. Pretty salt though, for real. Just did nothing for over 2 hours just not to be able to hoop. She says, what do you mean you did nothing? It's hanging out with me doing nothing? Thank you, that's so nice. Then go to your sales if hanging out with me is nothing. He said, nah, more the driving, just the oil change, and then having to run all the way back that way again. That was like an hour. Okay. If it's that big of a deal, then don't hang out with me. I don't know why you're trying to make it this my fault. The RSO, don't get me high. He says, how long has it been since you took it? I didn't take any. I don't want to take it for no reason. We can make edibles when I get back. I don't want that. We can just make wheat coconut oil and put it in smoothies. Is that coconut oil good? You can check. Coconut oil is the best you can get. Where you at now? I want to smoke. Lakewood? Oh. I'll be back in a bit. I don't have that much shite to do. Want to sip tonight? Since I have no school, I don't have any. I'll hit dude. My video is blowing up. What video? TikTok. People mad. Yeah, which TikTok video? How many views? 4K. It's a good video. They hating on me. Why? What you want for dinner? PFP, something good. I don't know, when we can grab and make quick, maybe just some steaks or something. My mom just made some sort of chicken thing, but I don't want it. What is it? Question mark. I don't know what that is. So what's the plan tonight? If you want steak, he says, we can maybe make those. I don't want to buy fillets though. I want to try something else. So what I usually do doesn't get old. Let me know, she says. What do you want to do? Question mark, question mark. Driving with big work. Oh, I guess. You're home, babe? Just got back. You at your house? So steaks? I don't know. My stomach feels weird. I don't know if I can fully do that right now. I guess so we could do that. Should we just do pesto again then? Low key, maybe. I would be down. Answer. Let me call Angelo. I want to feed him too. Are you making it? Question mark. Pesto is already made. I can make it in a second. I might go get steaks. What should we make with it? I don't know. I'm not that hungry. My stomach hurts. What do you want? I need a lot more protein tonight, but I can make something small for you if you want. I can just make us a little pesto if you want. Maybe, can I have a bite of your steak? I don't want a full steak. Okay, that works. I'm gonna go get them with Angelo. My stomach hurts because I ate my mom's pasta, just a bite. It was not good, and now she wants me to eat the chicken. Not funny. Let me look up what kind of chicken it is, he says. It looks good, she says. It's super simple. You might for F with that. I'd try it. I have used all the seasonings. It said that's in it. How long to your home, she says, question mark. Pick me up. He says, I will in a second. Angelo was about to come with me, but he was to pick up Toph. I'll come in a second. Okay, come. Be right there. Repeating problems. If you're in a bad mood, you're going to be weird and start being weird to me. Let me know so I can go home instead of just being weird as F. Good reply. I would be answering within the second if I were you. When I tell you I don't like how you're acting, you do not say, all right. You're supposed to fix how you're acting, not cause a bigger problem. He says, I wasn't in a mood or being weird. You see what I'm doing? I've got a lot on my hands. Don't do this right now, like for real. She says, I don't like how you're acting and you're still giving attitude. Maybe you should stop doing this right now if you didn't want this to happen. Why are you still giving me attitude? Like, why are you still trying to fix this or reassure me that you weren't giving me attitude? You're just telling me to push it away like you always do, which again is a repeated pattern you apologized for and said you weren't going to do it, and you just didn't. Did it. I wasn't giving attitude. You're giving attitude, he says. She says, why are you turning this on me? When I'm telling you that I don't like now you're talking to me, I'm not giving you an attitude. I'm telling you I don't like how you're acting. That's not giving attitude. I seriously wouldn't turn this into an argument because it could get really bad, really fast. So I would fix this before it's too late because it's already about to be too late. You've already proven yourself otherwise. And I would also stop being dry. He says, Kenzie, I wasn't giving an attitude. I'm busy as F. And I'm trying to do shite. I'm not gonna text argue with you because you thought I gave attitude. I don't give attitude at all. I don't know when I would have given attitude. So stop trying to fight when I got a lot on my hands. She says, I'm not trying to fight. That's why I went home. Okay, good. Sorry, you thought I was giving attitude. I see. She says, do you want to go to the crystal shop, then the aquarium? Okay, WTF. Yes, we can, he said. Do I have to pull up on you or something? Like, what the F are you doing? Like, you better send the message back in like 4 seconds. Phone was dead, and I was sending hella photos to people. Yeah, I'm honestly not believing that. Your phone was not dead for over 15 minutes. As soon as it dies, you rush to plug it in. So why are you lying? What the F? Yeah, I plugged it in. Then I started sending hella photos. Let's not just go since you want to be mean. Like, why are you being mean for no reason? I asked you earlier if you wanted to go to the aquarium and you said yes. No answer? I thought you called me after that. I'm out of the shower and will be ready soon if you want to go. I'm ready. Bet. Let me hurry and get ready. Bring hella edibles. You're gonna have to see what you want to take. When are you coming? Like, we're only going to be there for an hour type shite. So, like, we really need to hurry up. Like, if we want to go, we're going to need to go now. It's about to close at 5. WTF? Whose car? I'll be ready in 10. I have to ask my mom if I'm driving. My mom's car? Okay, bet. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah. Pull into my mom's. I'm about to run over and grab a cart battery. Bring out my Balenciaga hat, if you know where it is. I don't know, for real. I'm already next door too. Isn't it there? Pulling in. It probably is. I'm here. Come, are you home? There's a movie on Netflix I want to watch. Yeah, I have to dip in a second though. I'm down to watch when I'm back. When are you coming back? I don't know. Waiting for a dude to tell me to leave. I'm going now. Hopefully, just an hour. KK. I'm home. What's the plan? Want to go to the crystal store today? Yes. But let me see when the cleaning lady's coming, and I'll let you know when I'm free to go. Okay, I'm a shower. Question mark. I'm about to get ready. Then you want to go to the crystal store? Yes, I'm ready too. Bro. Yeah, we're about to go on a break again, so I'll give you 5 minutes to fix this. Clearly, you're not learning. And I know you didn't just make me get effing ready to not go. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes on my timer starting now. Kenzie, you call me and give me attitude and disrespect me, and I just give it to you back. All I did is correct you. It is the same tone of voice you were talking to me in. She says you have 2 minutes left. He says you can fix it, when you stop pretending you didn't do anything. She says, yeah, I'm debating on what I should do because you just broken bolt pattern and broke your apology. Because I'm pretty sure, like yesterday, I told you to de-escalate the situation, even though it was already de-escalated and you were the one being mean. So I'm going to give you one last chance to fix this, or I'm going to have to block you and end the relationship. Kenzie, you called me being disrespectful. End the relationship then. She says this is not threatening to end the relationship. I'm telling you, you are not proving yourself to be better than you're just proving yourself to be worse. You aren't either. I'm not going to be with someone who can't get better, she says. You called me on some BS. Me neither, Kenzie. She says, I have been a lot better, actually, and I don't need you to gaslight me and tell me I'm not. I'm going to give you one last effing chance. You're going to apologize to me right now. Sad that I even have to tell you that this is what you're going to do. And then you're going to come pick me up, and we're going to go to the crystal store. He says, Kenzie, you have been better, but you called me on some BS and then expect me to not give BS back. She says, this is how it's going to go. He says, you can apologize first. Let's see. She says, and if it's not going to go that way, then there's no effing relationship, and I will plan Florida with another friend. I'm going to give you one more effing chance. You would be dumb to not take this chance. He says, you gave me disrespect first, so you apologize first, then I'll apologize. I'll need all my bread back from it. So, is that a no, she says? Is that a no, that you're not going to be better? I don't know why it always has to be something that I do when it's literally always you first. You always ignore my calls, and then you get mad when I'm mad that you ignored me. 333. Then she said, if you could answer your effing little sales and Will, you can answer me on time. I wouldn't want to have to come to your house again. Kenzie, I didn't have my phone in my pocket because I was running downstairs for underwear and I didn't have pants on. So how would I keep a phone on me? And again, it was like 1 minute. It doesn't matter. Your communication skills effing suck, she says. Literally, you have the worst communication skills I've ever seen somebody have. So you're going to come get me. And if my 5-minute timer runs out and you haven't come to get me yet, I will be pulling up in there. Will actually be serious problems if I have to do that. So pick your poison. Why are you threatening me? He says. Why don't you just say sorry for being disrespectful on the phone, and then I'll say sorry for being disrespectful back. You have 3 minutes. And I can't drive my car still. I'ma have to ask my mom for hers, he says. And then he says, nah, I'm not doing this BS. You can apologize and I'll apologize. I'm gonna brush my teeth and ask if I can use her car. Your time's up. You're coming, right? She says. Say you're sorry for threatening me, and I'll come. I will not be apologizing for anything. I don't apologize to people who gaslight. So you're going to come right now, or there's going to be a problem. I don't know why you're so effing stubborn. You're going to come now? I don't do that. And you're being stubborn by not apologizing. You were disrespectful first, he says. Okay, she says, do I have to pull? Do I have to pull up? Because I can come right now. Since you want to be like that, I can come right now. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. See, he says, you're threatening me again. Or you can come right now, like you're supposed to. Or you can come like now, like you're supposed to. Okay, on the way. I said no threats. Not entertaining disrespect and threats anymore. That's been known. Don't come F up my house again or try and tase me, like for real. That shite is not it. Okay, real quick, on the way. When I get there, you're going to apologize too. Actually, you're going to get in the car when I get here. He says you will apologize first for being disrespectful first, and then I will apologize. She says, see, that's why it's not effing happening at all, because I apologize first every time because you're an immature little F. I'm here, so get in the effing car. Do you have 5 effing seconds to come outside and get in the car? He says, like you didn't even say you were going to apologize at all. 5, 4, 3, 2. Why am I coming out? He says. We're going to the crystal store right now. Get in the effing car. I wouldn't want to have to come in there. That would be bad. Really bad. If I were you, I would get in the car. Okay, I'll come out and I'll say I'm sorry, but you have to too. If I were you, I would get in the car. He says, if I were you, She says, if I were you, I'd get in the car. If I were you, I would get in the car. Dead arse, you have 2 minutes to come out or I'm coming in. He says, let me grab my money at least. Geez. She says, if the time hits 1 o'clock, I'm coming in. 1 minute. I'm coming in, and I'm coming in right now. And she says, if you loved me, you would have gotten in the car and had the conversation with me. If you loved me, you would have answered the phone and been like, sorry, babe, I didn't realize. If you loved me, you would have chased after me when I pulled out of the driveway. If you loved me, you would have let me in your house to have the conversation in there. If you loved me, you wouldn't record me at my most vulnerable. If you loved me, you would have laughed in my face when I was telling you how I felt. If you loved me, you would have given the effort to change. You have to love me enough to change for me. You wouldn't talk to somebody you love like this, especially after all you've done to me. The bad outweighs the good, even though we have really good days, we have more really bad days. It's really sad because yesterday I thought we were changing for the good, and I had a really good time with you yesterday. All you had to do was answer the phone and say, I'm sorry, babe. I didn't realize you were calling. But instead, you escalated the situation. You care more about yourself than me. You would rather hide behind your mother and brother than face your problems. You can push your problems to the side for, you can't, hold on, you can't push your problems to the side forever because it's just going to keep building up. You can't say I haven't changed because I've been trying so effing hard to try to make this relationship better, but it's really hard when you treat me like shite almost every day and always ignore me or give me excuses or why you couldn't answer the phone. It's an everyday thing and it's not healthy. I shouldn't have to give you 1 million chances to fix the problem. You should want to fix this problem, to grow together and be better together. It feels like you're only keeping me around because I know too much. And honestly, the fact that you recorded me during my most vulnerable moment was a stab in my effing heart. I never thought you would do that again to me. You haven't done that since freshman year, and that shite effing hurt. I don't think you've ever chased after me to stop me from leaving. You always let me leave. You have never tried super hard to keep me super happy or reassure me that I am the only one. I'm telling you how I feel, hopefully to change for the better off, not so you can laugh in my face and make fun of me. I don't know why you don't listen when I tell you it's your last chance, because I am serious when I say that you only care when it's too late and you've realized that you're missing out on. You wouldn't be where you are today without me. And that fact that you're just going to treat me like this is so effing breaking. What's even more sad is that you're probably going to only read about half of this and ignore the rest of it and only reply to like one thing about this. You just don't care about me and you only hold on to me because of the time we've had together. And there's no love in this relationship, at least from your side. I'm even thinking about all the times you let me go to sleep upset with you or sad. You just don't care enough. As much as I want this to work, the recording me and laughing at me while I was at my lowest is one of the effing worst things a human that's supposed to be your best friend and your soulmate can do to you. I didn't think you could break my heart again after you cheated on me, but I guess today happened and proved myself wrong because I haven't felt this way since you did that. What also hurts is the fact that you're texting me asking if you should move on. Are you seriously thinking about meeting new people already? That just proves that this relationship was nothing to you and you were just keeping me an investment instead of a lover or a partner. I just don't understand how someone can be with someone for 3 years and just not want to try anymore or change. Like, do you really want to be with me? Did you ever want this relationship to work out? He says, Kenzie, let's talk in person. I couldn't let you buy me because you were being physical. I wasn't going to do domestic violence. And to be honest, in the back of my head, I'm thinking that this is all going to end up working out again because I don't think either of us can see each other with anyone else. And yeah, I have to record you because you threatened to call the cops on me. I told you I'd delete it if you just let me go inside and come out. And yeah, I couldn't control the laughing. I didn't know what else to do. That's a common thing for people to laugh. Even people cry. And you have done it to me before. And yeah, I want to be with you forever, but like for real, I almost feel like you just trying to give yourself reasons to break up with me. That's why I didn't stop you. Don't look for reasons to break up with you at all. I love you, but I've been saying this. I'm emotionally exhausted. I can't keep doing this now. My mom is having surgery next week, and for real, she could die. I don't even want to say that, but they're going to put her in ICU because it's supposed to be so dangerous. And no, I'm not thinking of meeting new people. I meant like move on from you, like I didn't know you were actually done. Let me come over. Are you up? I'll come over. Just let me come over. And you say I wouldn't talk to you like that if I loved you, but you threatened to ruin my life and snitch on me, babe. And how did I talk bad to you? If I know this isn't over, let me know when you want to talk. And you saying I'm seriously asking if I should move on. You literally said many times, if we're done, you're going to talk to other people. I haven't done that nor said that. You also said you were going to rob me of my vacation money and go with Grace. You said a lot of things for real that I just let go. I'll give you one chance to talk to me or I'm gonna move on because I see you liking dudes' comments on Insta. You got like 10 minutes. Dead arse. See, you just unlike them too. Nice try. She says, you only want me when you don't have me. I need someone that wants me all the time and tries all the time. And clearly, you can't give that effort to me. He says, nah, when I don't have you, I want you less. You just made me not want you by entertaining dudes. You said we were done for good, and I don't talk to any girls. I just focus on myself. We broke up for a day, and I was trying to see you yesterday, and you're liking dudes' comments on Instagram. That's not it. And I'm talking about the last time versus this time. We were broken up like a week. I don't talk to no one. This time we're broken up for 12 hours and you're liking comments. She says, trying to see me is not fixing the problem. You're just going to do the same shite you always do and end up doing. You're a effing revolving door and you need to realize it. You're literally a P and you treat women in your life like shite. I don't even care at this point. You block me from so many things in my life. This relationship is toxic and it's been since day one. He says, Kenzie, you are too, all my problems are just reactions to your problems. She says, I honestly couldn't give two Fs. Like, you can't even communicate what you don't like going on in this relationship. And then you decide to shove it under the rug and bring it out when you're in a relationship. Maybe when we're in a relationship, and maybe our relationship would work a little better if you were just verbalize how you feel when it's happening instead of pushing it under the rug like you have to do every single second of your life. And he said, I push it under the rug when you're raging mad. She says, do you think I give an F that your butt hurt about an effing liking Instagram? You literally recorded me when I was crying and laughed in my face. Like I could give two Fs what you think. Like you are delusional. You think everything is just going to magically be better. Like you are literally hilarious. Do you want to just laugh in your face and record you? He says, but fine, break up with me because I was disrespectful on the phone. It's not like you weren't disrespectful first. Didn't let me out of the car and then hit me and pulled the shite out of my hair. Then you tried to throw a rock at me and threatened to call the cops on me and key my car. Yes, I had to record you. You're going to do all that? Threaten cops on me? I had to record you, for real. I ain't know if you were serious. You've been saying that a lot. And I said, I delete it if you just let me go inside and then come out. She says, you are effing repulsive. Do not text me. He says, but you couldn't. Okay, Kenzie, I get. Just know that you're throwing this relationship away, not me. Hope you can finally be happy. She says, no, Dominic, as soon as you're recording me while I was at my lowest point, then you ruined the relationship. Hopefully your family gets their shite together. He says, Kenzie, you wouldn't let me out of the car. And I said, I delete it. Like you didn't let me out of the car and you didn't let me go inside and you threatened to call the cops on me and threatened to ruin my life. Like if I didn't record you, probably would have called them and got me in trouble because they always believe the girl. I would be in jail and my other charges would be back. I mean, I for real had no choice. She says, I mean, I can make that happen. See again, he says, there you go. She says, I don't care. I literally do not care. You literally just betrayed the F out of anything that you could have ever done. Like, you just effed up so hard. There's no going back after this now. Stop texting me. Let me see. She says, your mind, she means mind, is too small to even fix this problem, which is unfixable at this point. Mind. Like, I'm literally so upset that I wasted 3 years with an effing manipulative gaslighter cheater that does not give an F about how I feel. Now stop effing texting me unless you're going to do something about it. He says, I do care, but you don't threaten cops to me. And then she says, I'm sure you do. That's so cute. Have a nice one. He says, like for real, last thing you do, you're gonna completely lose me if I ever think cops are going to get involved. Because, yeah, even if you love you to death, you love me to death, if cops are going to be involved and I'm going to be getting charged with some BS because I can't be with anyone who does that, I will never talk to my own family again because of that. She says, dude, I don't give a single F. You betrayed every last inch that you could think that you could do, but you did. He says, by taking a video, but you didn't with the cops, with the rock. She says, you cheated on me multiple times, lied to my face about getting better, then laughed in my face when I cried and recorded me at my most vulnerable. He said, with all your threats. He says, I have done that since I was a kid. I can't control it because your mind can't process the negative like it does the positive. She says, I'm going to need you to stop texting me unless you're going to Kiss my arse now. Have a nice day. He says, I don't think I can do that unless you show me the cops will never be involved. You won't try to ruin my life, key my car, or F up my house or something, or throw a rock at me. But all right, Kenzie, I hope you're happy or find happiness. Liked his post too. It's so gross. That's an L. Why don't you show him your racist TikToks? She says, and you're so not so gross. You literally effed both of my best friends. The F you talking about my racist TikToks. Are you mentally okay? So we're in a 3-year relationship now, not a 6 months. She says, wow, is someone butthurt right now? We're not in an effing relationship at all. You're a manipulative gaslighter cheater who is a revolving door and does not change. You haven't changed in years. He says, nah, I'ma just let you know that you're not making yourself look good. She says, and like I said, you could stop texting me unless you're going to kiss my arse because I don't need no bum in my phone. He says, I did change, hella, but okay. And then she says, if that's what your little head thinks. He says, and yeah, I'm not a bum. I make bums into bosses. And he says, I have old heads telling me I'm a be the shite and I'm at the top every day. People who are already at the top and live in Cali and drive Lambos. She says, I don't give an F. Now stop texting me. He says, but whatever, I'm a bum. I guess you can talk to me if you show me you're not a snitch. She said, you're literally so effing upsetting and you betrayed every last inch of my body that you could not stop texting me. Honestly, I should just snitch on you for effing betraying the F out of me. Like for real. I really effing should. He says, for betraying how? By being disrespectful back on the phone? Like WTF. She says, like, you love to hurt the people who do the most for you. Literally, treat the people in your life terrible. Without me, you would still be the PR 16-year-old that shoots on every girl in his life and treats all the women in his life like shite. Deep down, I know it is because you bring out that side every day of your life. No, like I said, stop texting me unless you're going to kiss my effing arse. And you wouldn't be half you who you are without me either. I'm a boss now. I always been a boss. I'm a stop texting you and I'm not kissing me arse to a snitch. If you can show me you actually about this boss shite, you can talk to me. But till then, I'm a keeping bossing up. She says, then we done because I'm not giving effort to somebody who rewards people at their lowest, who records people at their lowest and most vulnerable points. I said I shouldn't even have sent you that long arse text. Clearly, I just went right over your small little head. He said, because I need a strong woman by my side, not a fake one. I felt that text. I wanted to come talk. Then you didn't respond and you started liking dudes' Insta posts. She says, no, you effing did it because you haven't changed. You're still a effing piece of shite. You're still a manipulative biatch. You still treat the women in your life like shite. You're still not trying to be better. You're still not trying to prove me. You're still not finding something wrong with the recording me at my lowest. So yeah, I got mad, he says. She says, I bet that video's still on your phone. I bet you just keep watching it. Do you love to make the people around you feel small? Like the one really that you just, how you feel on the inside? You're not going to have a strong woman if you're an effing little biatch on the inside. You will never have that. Why would I let you come talk to me when you just try to effing touch me? Like, no. Like, you're just going to try to push it under the rug like you always effing do. He says, no, I don't treat women like shite. I treat women amazing. I'm sorry you don't see that. She said, I'm done with you. You're a blockage in my life and the revolving door who doesn't see change. He says, what am I blocking? You effing old dudes for money? Like I'm with you for everything you do unless it's that shite. Whatever. I'ma jump in the shower, just go in the shower and get shite done. She says, that's fine. I tried forming connections with you, and I tried my hardest to show you that I clearly cared about you, but you're painting me to be the problem, which is likely on your end is something I do not appreciate. You are playing victim when you actively just displayed me being in a vulnerable moment, especially with my mental health issues. I understand I can be slightly quick with my emotions, and that was impulsivity, but it was me showing a normal human trait that most, let's be honest, people share if put in a situation that makes them uncomfortable. Hence, you taking me to a place where people could hear, make me feel like I was under attack and in the spotlight, and then you clearly bothered me, and instead of acting mature, you decided to take a video of me in an obviously vulnerable moment. But if I constantly address those triggers and you refuse to acknowledge them or accommodate them, that is on you. You are very absent, and you are my boyfriend, and I expect you to at least respond to my texts. And that could be simple, yeah, but you acted like I never existed. And that really bothered me. I'm all done here, clearly. You don't want to give effort, and I know I'm not going to change unless you show great change. So goodbye. He says, I had to videotape you. You were going way too far. And I said I'd delete it. But you hold other shite over my head so much harder. Like if I didn't videotape, who knows what you would have done? I just videotaped you hoping you wouldn't do anything because it was on video. I don't care about video or having it at all. I just don't want you to do some crazy, like, you literally threw a rock at me. Yeah, I'm glad I was videotaping, for real. Yeah, we are effing done. F you. Hope that video helps you sleep at night. I don't want the video. I just don't want to be put in jail over some BS. Like I tried to keep it as kosher as possible. If you just turned around, let me change and grab my cart, there would have been no video. But you were driving like a maniac. What do you expect me to do? I want to give all the effort in the world, but I can't. If I'm going to be threatened like that, if you can't just be a chance I go to jail, like I'd never do anything like that, anything like that, that's effed up. Yeah, I could have just talked back better on the phone, but you talked the same way to me first. Yeah, I didn't think, and you just talked back to me bad, but that's what any person would do. Like you for real don't think I care. Don't think I try and change, but I went from a person who never thought I'd be married or have kids or even make it to a full adult to thinking of marrying and what we're going to name our kids and where we're going to live and all that. So you think what you want, but I'm not who I was. I'm 1,000 times better. You know, I really wish none of this happened today, and I really wish we could just watch true crime and sip. But I don't think that's possible for today. She said, you're only spiraling out of control because I broke up with you and you haven't apologized. You haven't even tried to make any of this better. And now that I've told you that you needed to apologize, your apology is now going to be mean. Nothing to me because I'm taking you all this time to even formulate anything that you just keep spewing things that don't matter, and you don't have a reason for everything and you have a reason for everything and an excuse for everything, and I don't give an F. It doesn't matter. Nothing is ever going to change with you. You just keep proving yourself more and more capable of not being able to handle a normal relationship. You're toxic and you don't prove anything differently. Your actions don't speak words. Your apologies mean nothing. Kenzie, before any of this happened, I told you that if you apologize, I will apologize because you were disrespectful first. Okay, it's 4 o'clock. We're on 27,534. And wow, that's crazy. Hi, Jess Pepper. I love that she absolutely hates Dom, has all the evidence on the video and she can't do anything about it. She deletes it slowly, truly who she is. She detests it. If he was really dealing tons of money, someone would have offered. If he was really dealing tons of money, someone would have offered her. What? What? Offed her. I don't know what she said either. Have a good rest, Liza. Been nice chatting. Hi, Liza Ann. I wish I could hold out for the text, but it's almost 4 o'clock. I'm going to stop. Thank you for all reading. Thanks for all the reading, Carolyn. You emote to perfection. Thank you, dear. Amy's exactly. No concern for a sick mom, right, Amy? Hi, everybody that's hung in with me. Sorry, I can't read and talk to the chat. It can only do really one thing or the other. Got to do the word game and then we got to go to bed. We've got to do the word game and we've got to go to bed. Thank you, Scooter. I didn't even fall asleep. I got a little sleepy at one point, but then I pushed on. I pushed through it. Thank you, Jess Pepper. This is a very small puzzle tonight, isn't it? Tiny is like a baby puzzle. Hi, Serenity Track. How are you? Hello. You did it. Aiming. Aiming. What's infuriating, Pepper? Oh, we're all furious with this little psycho bee. I know. She's really getting really bad. Oh my gosh. She threw a rock at him. She hit him. She pulled the hell out of his hair. Hi, Petunia. Yeah, there's no E. It fooled me too. Anyway,
that's gonna call it a day. Tomorrow is another day. So we'll do more tomorrow. I will be out of town a little bit tomorrow. I don't know how it's gonna work with the auction or whatever, but I'll try if whatever if people want to do stuff, but and then supposed to go apple picking on Sunday. I still have to find the place. But anyway, you have to wake up for the game. Oh, okay. All right, everybody, be good. I put out a little short where she says she does not say the name Jacob in the ambulance. So I hope you heard that. Amy, I have to go through the calls. I was going to try to do that tonight. I hate the way they put them because it's hard to see if I played them all. So I have to go through. And I think I'm going to try to do that this week, okay? There probably is a few left. And I'll put them on. Hey, MSL, thank you. I appreciate that, and I love Woodstock. I love Snoopy too. But I mean, I love your Woodstock avatar. And I can see it really good when you put the super chat up. Thank you very much. Everybody have a good night. Be good. Stay safe. We'll see you tomorrow, Evelyn, right? All right. Prayers for everyone that needs some people in our community. Everyone needs prayers. Please pray for them. Some more than others, dealing with a lot of things, right? So, yeah, prayers for everyone in the community. And God help them all. God help us all. All right. Love you guys. Be good. Let me see how I get out of this crazy thing. Okay, here we go.